PlayStation Drive is starting. While you wait, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon on YouTube to be notified of future goodness. If you enjoy our show, we'd love it if you gave us a 5-star review or rating on your podcast service of choice. To continue the conversation, join the Carpool Gaming Discord, where you can find a wholesome community to have a chit-chat with. For some exclusive content, you can also support us on Patreon. And finally, don't forget to check out the Carpool Gaming website for an awesome range of merch. Links to all that and more are in the show notes, but without further ado, let's get revved up for the PlayStation Drive. Whoa!
What's up, everybody? Welcome on. This is the PlayStation Drive, episode 151. Yes, that's a palindrome, folks. Of course, I am one of your hosts, Ryan, and I am joined back with the full crew this evening. Fuya, Matt, and Ron are all here. How y'all doing, folks, on this long weekend for Ron and for no one else?
Yes. Loving it.
Yeah.
It's always a long weekend.
We had our long weekend last weekend, Ryan. So
we did.
It's all good.
We did. It was a thing. It was a thing. I mean, when I was telling people about it, they were just like, "Really? It's this weekend? I thought it was next weekend." It's like, nope. We got different holidays, but around the same time. It's weird. It's weird stuff. But it's good to see everyone here as well, because it's been a while since we've had the full crew. It's
been like a month.
I was gonna say, Matt and
month.
Fuya, you two haven't been in the same room for like a month now.
Yeah, I know.
Yes, it's been a very long time since I've actually spoken to Fuya, virtually face to face. I still bother her in Discord, but this is like the real deal. This is it.
Yes.
Exactly. She can actually roll her eyes at you, and you can see it this time around.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas
yes,
if that happens in Discord, you can't.
I bet
she does it through gifts. It's fine.
I was gonna say, yeah, she does the emojis, but
yeah, I'm about to say,
I do. Yeah.
It's not the same.
She doesn't let it
Wonderful
pass.
thing.
She doesn't miss an opportunity. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's not the same.
No, that is true.
Yeah. Well, speaking of not the same, Matt, the weather has been great here because summer's almost here. It's been really nice outside all week. So it's like a cool, crisp, 20 to 30 degrees outside. Whereas Fuya's over there freezing. I can tell. You can tell it's we're on different sides of the planet. It's so
obviously so, because it's definitely not cool here or cold at all.
Yeah.
Oh wow. No, yeah, it's been beautiful for, I'd say almost more than a week. Even before last weekend, it's pretty warm. Today was a bit of a mess though. Today, there was downpour, cloud, then sunshine. It was very, very confusing. But the last few days has been pretty good. So finally.
Well, that was nice and warm for you guys. It was very hot here.
Well, I mean, that's just what happens when you live in the South.
Yeah.
I mean, that just comes with the territory. I mean, as someone myself who lived in Texas, I understand. This is how that works. But anyways, this is the PlayStation Drive, where we don't talk about weather all the time. We talk about PlayStation all the time. But before we talk about PlayStation, we got to do the little housekeeping. So, of course, we got brand new patrons over at patreon.com/carpoolgaming.
Yes,
we got Samuel Nessling, who joined up at that gold member tier. So shout out to Samuel for joining up at the gold membership. And also shout out to Samuel, because Ron, I believe you got a nice comment from
I did. Sam is a fan, and I appreciate that.
Yeah. A lot of people love Ron. Ron doesn't believe it, but Ron, people, we get lots of nice messages about Ron all the time. So.
Oh, also, he's a member of the Cult of the Will as well. So shout out to Sam. Yeah. Ever growing.
I don't know if we can accept any more Sam's questions. No. Just can't do it.
We grow in numbers. Just saying.
That's just because you keep handing out pamphlets, Ron. Too many pamphlets. Someone needs to stop him.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ron. Hand out the ranch pamphlets, not the wheel pamphlets.
The wheel keeps on
Come
rolling. I'm afraid not. It never stops.
Why don't you just bring the wheel to the ranch, though? Why can't you do both?
Shout out to JB.
Keep both on the pamphlet.
Yeah. See?
I don't care about the ranch. It's not my thing.
You don't care about the ranch. You're MVP.
It's not my
I'm
thing.
ranch.
No.
We got the queen ranch here. Come on, that's just slander.
Koala does not even recognize that. You're the only one that's a recognized ranch member here.
Now,
Wow.
hold the phone here. I'm the old man in the group here, and I feel we need to do our due diligence here and explain the meaning behind the ranch to people. We need to know,
Go on, man.
need to
Since
know
you're
what
a
this is
member.
even all about, because we hear references to
will.
the ranch all the time, but like you never really explain what the ranch actually is.
Oh, boy.
Everybody should know what the ranch is. So shout out to CowboyDangerD, who is MVP of the ranch. And he's been recruiting folks. Costs a bit of money, but it's well worth the membership. Fuya is Queen Ranch.
No!
I'm like Assistant Captain Ranch. No, we agreed to this.
I am not
And I'm
part
pretty
of
sure
this.
Ron joined.
No. So here's what happened. I initially had joined the ranch until I found out that there's all
Yes.
kinds of federal problems with the ranch, and I had to bow out.
You can't leave us. There's like a cohesion or something between
No,
the
no.
times and the
do
ranches.
enough
Come on.
research, Ron. You didn't do enough
Hey,
research.
I was doing it out of friendship until I found out that friendship was going to get me a Fed case, and then I had to bow out.
For life, Ron. Ranch for life.
You're
No, sir.
good, Ryan.
You're
You're
stuck.
good. You don't need to worry.
I was just about to
this.
say, I think I'm even more
Yeah.
confused now than I was when I asked the question.
It's like, what is going on?
Don't worry.
It's as clear as glass. I don't know how I can make it
No.
any more simple
It's
for
not
everybody.
clear at all. You talked about bribery, forced membership.
This doesn't sound
What more
like
do
a
you
ranch
want,
I want
people?
to hang out at. Yeah.
Oh my god!
Anyways,
Anyway, thank you.
Thank you, Koala.
Yeah. Of course, JB also is equally confused right now as well. So there you go. That's the ranch. I guess for other housekeeping notes. Also, this is my week of Paid's Patreon podcast for Patrons podcast. My episode will go up tomorrow morning, or if you're listening on audio feeds, whether it's on Patreon or the free feeds, it'll already be out over on the Patreon. And then the Lochleth is coming up this week, so make sure to get your questions for the Lochleth. Get some cozy questions in over there for the Pants Patreon podcast for Patrons podcast. And then also, I want to give a shout out to Sean this week. I want to give Sean a special shout out this week because we had our Hellblade 2 review go up. And I know that this is a PlayStation podcast.
No, it's all
but
good.
I would
Talk
assume
about
at some point this game probably comes to PlayStation at some point. So
Agreed.
it's okay to talk about it on the show because
Yeah.
I want to give a shout out to Sean because he did an amazing review
Yeah,
for
it
Hellblade
was a great
2.
review. Sure was.
Yeah, he was so passionate about the game. You could tell how much he loved the game just from the way he talked about it and stuff. It was like the most Sean thing I've ever seen in my entire life, to the point where there were some surprise sections in the car. So if you haven't seen Sean's review of Hellblade 2 yet, I encourage you to go check it out on the Carpool Gaming YouTube channel. Maybe don't spend too much time in the comment section because the comment section is kind of on fire. But I love also that Sean's gone in there and has tried to make it a very positive place for people to be able to comment.
He
on the
has.
game.
Yes.
man, I
people.
didn't even get through all of them. I only read some of them, and my chest was feeling tight, and I was so anxious. I was like, all right, I got to stop reading this. This
Yeah.
is, yeah.
It's ridiculous,
worth it.
man.
It's not worth it.
ridiculous
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
people get over somebody's opinion. It's wild.
Yeah. But I was
Everybody should also.
Sorry.
Everyone should check out the Xbox Drive too, because Sean and Mitch did a deep dive on Hellblade, and they also confirmed it is in fact one full experience when you play both games.
Oh, God.
Confirmed.
Here we go.
I'm just saying.
I thought you were
just
giving the Xbox Drive props, but you actually just did it as a curveball to give yourself props. Narcissist.
Win-win.
I'm gonna actually give Matt some credit here because Sean and I also did a review discussion for Hellblade because I also was part of the review process, and I also kind of agreed with Matt on that.
Oh, Ryan. What is... Oh, my God. You're failing us.
I'm sorry. It
Thank
actually
you,
just
Ryan.
feels like it's one big long game.
Don't be sorry. Don't be sorry. Say it with pride, Ryan. Thank you. Thank you. Don't be sorry.
This does not need to be encouraged. You're using it the wrong way. You use it the wrong way.
Yeah. Also, shout out to Kevin Ainsworth as well because Kevin also did a good review on Save the Good
Kev!
Media as well. So
The wizard
make sure to
in
go
the
out
house.
Yeah, if you're interested in Hellblade 2, again, 2 great reviews. Sean's review,
Yep, Kev's
Kev's
review was great too.
They're both really good. So make sure to go check them out over there on the internet. Well, without further ado, let's grab our 8 tracks, pop them in. It is time for the playlist. Time to talk about the games that we played this weekend. And as always, Ron, you are first on the docket. What'd you play this week, my friend?
All right, so I want to say, I think last weekend I wrapped up Centennial Case, Shijima story, platted it. Man, the game was really good. I wasn't disappointed at it whatsoever. but that last chapter and that epilogue pushed it into great territory for me. You want to talk about payoffs and just, golly, just really just bringing it right to the end. That right there there's not too many FMV games that I have enjoyed in my lifetime, especially to put into a great territory. But that game was great. Like I said, it was really good. And it was riding that 3.5 stars for a while. But man, like I said, that last chapter, that epilogue, they really hit home with that one. I mean, that was just a great ending. So, yeah, that was worth the platinum. And people, even if you're not really into FMV games and just want to kind of just try it, I think there's a demo up. Oh, yes, Matt, I see your question. I'm ready.
Question from the press pool.
Yeah.
How many platinums are you at now, Your Royal Bareness? Official count. Take your time. I know there's a lot to count. Double digits? Triple digits?
Off the top of my head, I think it's 8.
Fuya,
So
how
many
are
you can't
at?
even keep
8
count.
or 9, I think. I have
you're
to go.
definitely still ahead of me.
Well,
I'll do an official check later.
here's your official crown. I will put it on top of your head here.
Here you go. Your Royal Bareness. Congratulations.
my God.
Yon 32, of course, recognizes in the chat. Platinum King.
Yep.
Thank you, John. Thank you.
Yep. Will Ron carry the title for the rest of the year? I mean, only one way to find out.
I'm not so sure about that. Koala's a little bit more free time now.
No.
Just a tad.
I mean, your profile picture in the Discord is a bear with a crown, so...
The platinums have nothing to do with it. I'm
There
just
you
a
go.
king anyway. I don't need
Platinum
platinums.
King!
Platinum King. A Platinum King.
Yeah. Well,
Okay? Titles matter.
It's one less title for Fuya to win.
Oh,
on
my
herself.
Lord, mercy. Well, aside from that, I beat that, and then the wheel chose Sea of Stars, so I'm about 7 hours into that, having a good time with it. It's hitting all the old school RPG vibes. It's a great-looking game. Loving the combat system. Yeah, I've been talking to Marcus O'Neill about it. He gave me some advice for that damn trophy for the 25 deflections of the Moonerang. Got it today, so that's the... Finally got that out the way, so now I can get back to enjoying the game. But right now, like I said, it's hitting all the old school vibes. I'm really enjoying that one. So we're going to see where that goes.
Nice. Amanda would be so proud, Ron, that one of us is actually playing Sea of Stars.
Yeah.
Enjoy it.
Uh-oh.
Hey, Fuya.
Yes, Koala?
Question. How are you enjoying the music of Sea of
The
Stars?
music is really good so far. Like I said, I'm still very early in, so I don't know what more tracks are going to come. But from what I've heard from the first 7 hours, it's very good. Like I said, if I had to compare it to something, I would say that Early Thoughts it is very much like Chrono Trigger, and that's not a bad thing whatsoever.
Yeah. I mean, that was kind of their goal, was to make a game like Chrono
And you could
Trigger
tell.
in a
You
way,
could tell.
so-
It's right on the sleeve. But like I said, that's if you're going to copy a game, ain't nothing wrong with copying that one.
Nice. Well, hopefully we can time it out a little bit. So when you're close to finishing Sea of Stars, Ron, we can maybe have a live wheel spinning if you can get close enough to
We'll
finishing
see.
it.
If it's close enough to a Saturday, I think we can make that happen.
Yeah. We talked about that last week, Matt, where we
Yes,
want
Mike.
a live wheel spin. It would be awesome at some point.
Would be. I could spin it for you. Just give me access to your wheel and I can help
So
you
what's
do it.
going to happen is that I give you access to the wheel, and all of a sudden everything becomes near replicant. No, thank you. It's on there. It's on the wheel. It's on there. But you'll take all the other 103 applicants out.
The wheel chooses. That's how it
Matt,
goes.
Matt chooses is what's going to happen. So you will not touch
Well,
that
I mean,
wheel.
the wheel would be the one technically making the choice, though, Ron, in that scenario.
Thank you,
Not
Ryan.
if he has
Thank you.
doctored it, Ryan, and that's what he will do.
Yeah. Kevin Ainsworth, though, very surprised by your project in the chat, though. It says 7 hours, 33% done.
Well, Kevin, you know that me and you work differently. That 7 hours is probably me toying around for 2 of them. So we'll see.
Nice. Well, I'm excited to hear your continued jury in Sea of Stars in the coming weeks, my friend. But Matt, we got to go to you because again, you've been gone for a while. I want to know what you've been playing, man.
According to the doc, it says I've completed the Suicide Squad. Unfortunately, that is false. Somebody, speaking of doctored things, I have not played or completed Suicide Squad. I don't own that game. I'm not buying new games. Maybe at some point in the future.
I've finished that game.
Maybe it should have been in Ryan's spot and not mine.
I didn't finish it this week, but I've finished that game.
Matt,
Anyways.
there's nothing to be ashamed of if you complete a Suicide Squad, Fred. It's fine. It's all right. Don't be embarrassed. I still love you just
I'm
the
willing
same.
to give it a try just in 2025. I did play it and finished a new game. It's called Strayed Lights. It's for the backtrackers. I think we're meeting in 2 weeks or so. Pretty cool game. It relies heavily on a parrying system, but it's got a neat twist to it where you have to match the color of the enemy. So if the enemy is orange, then you need to press the left trigger, or if they're blue, you need to press the right trigger. And then after you activate your color, then you can effectively parry them. You can still hit them, but it does very little damage. And so it really encourages you to do the perfect parry, because when you do, it actually damages them quite significantly. And then it builds up, and then you can do like a all-out attack, which becomes QTEs. So it's pretty fun. And thankfully, there is a story mode, because the game does get pretty difficult. Especially for someone like me who has really slow reflexes. Like it was really hard to switch between the colors, and I just get pummeled. There are buffs where you can, and the temporary buffs where like you can parry them regardless of what color. So the game does a good job at kind of easing you into it, but for the story mode king, it got a bit challenging. Question from the press pool.
Yes, Matt, friend.
Ron.
Does that parrying system sound as convoluted? Is it really that bad? Because it sounds like it's kind of a mess.
It's not that bad. It's just it's a mess for somebody.
It just
like
sounds
me. It's
that
not
way.
that bad.
Okay.
No, yeah, it just sounds like way. But like it's easy. Basically, you just switch between the two colors, and then you parry, and then you're fine. And I have to look it up, but I'm pretty sure on story mode, even though I kept messing up, I think it actually prompted me like press the trigger now. So it does ease you into it in story mode. Obviously, you can play it normal and hard so that you can get the full experience that you want out of it. But wrapped it up. I actually don't know what the story's about because there's no dialogue. But I'm tempted to look it up, but I was like, you know what? I'm just going to let the backtrackers, someone who's much smarter than me, explain it to me, and then I'll get that aha moment. So I'll leave it for now. So I can't tell what the story is about. But otherwise, fun game. I believe it's on most platforms, pretty cheap. I think it was, at least on story mode, it was like 4 hours. But if you do on normal, maybe hard, maybe 6 hours. But it's worth checking out.
No, it did not sound like it's worth checking out. It did not sound like that.
I think if
you're
you're
pondering.
no. I think if you're into games that rely heavily on parrying, I don't know. Like, are the Dark Souls games and Elden Ring, like, is that heavily rely on parrying? Because if you
from
do,
all I know, I think Sekiro was the only one that was like
I was just about to
parry-based.
say that. I think Sekiro of those
Yeah,
is
I think the others are fine.
most of the other ones are
Okay.
about blocking and dodging and less about parrying.
okay, so then if you like Sekiro, then this is up your wheelhouse because, like I said, you can technically hit them back, but it just does little damage. So that's why it really does encourage you to do parrying. So it does way more damage. So Sekiro fans, check out Straight Lights. Let's put it that way. It's not a bad game. It's not cheeks. Far from cheeks. It's pretty good.
Is that maybe half a cheek, is what you're saying. Half cheeks.
There's no splitting the cheeks. It's just one.
Yeah, split the
Phrasing,
cheeks.
Ron. Phrasing.
That was intended purpose.
Wow.
Ron's like this close to
Far
getting muted.
out.
So we don't get booted
That
up.
was far out. That was far out.
It's Matt's fault.
Stop it, man.
And somewhat of Ryan's.
My
Ryan's the
fault.
one who went there with the half cheek. He shouldn't have did that.
It's a rating system.
It's not a rating
right?
system. You guys are making it one. It's only cheeks or not cheeks, and that's it.
Sorry.
Be open-minded, Ron, to different types of cheeks. Okay?
I was gonna say I didn't know that was the scientific.
We've had this
structure of
discussion before. There's only one cheeks or not cheeks, and that's it. There's no half. That's it.
For now.
No, Matt.
Thank you, Ryan.
Still plugging away at Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I am finally at Chapter 11 after 91 hours. Yes, I finally made it. Beat the last summon. Who was it? I think it was Bahamut Horizon on full might. I think I'm getting the hang of it. Only took me 2 attempts getting the hang of it. Loving the game, but I'm going to ask Ryan this because I'm very curious because
Sure.
I just finished Cosmo Canyon and I also finished the jungle. I don't know how much of the side stuff you did, but those 2 places, I'm sorry, like it is horrendous trying to navigate to every single small quest because it's very unclear in terms of like how to get there. And I think I talked about this a while ago in terms of the jumping chocobos and the flying chocobos, but that doesn't actually mean you get to fly anywhere you want and land anywhere you want. It's very rigid in terms of how to get there. So Cosmo Canyon, I just YouTubed everything. Teach me how to get here because I'm not going to figure out. Am I wrong? Am I being Might
No,
be too
you're
harsh,
not
Ryan?
wrong. That was the reason I stopped. That's actually because the jungle area was where I stopped doing all the side stuff for that reason, because I was just like, no, it's not worth it to me to do all this extra stuff. So.
It's frustrating because the stuff I like doing. Like I love doing the world intel. I love doing the battle challenges. I love riding around Chocobo and digging stuff. I like all that stuff. But they added that layer of like, well, you have to jump on this mushroom to this mushroom to this mushroom, or
Yeah.
you have to fly this route or this route, this
Well,
route.
I was gonna say, without a guide, there's
wish-
really no sense as like where the mushrooms or the platforms really go. So it's like hard to figure out where, like how to navigate the map properly. So I totally get what you're saying. In fact, JB says the same thing in chat. I did the exact same thing in Cosmo Canyon and a bit in Guganda. So yeah, it seems like the turning point for a lot of players. Where up until that point, you're right. It's fairly straightforward to figure out where to go. Whereas those two areas are kind of frustrating, and to the point where I don't even know how you navigate it in the final area, which is where you are now, because you're in the last open world area that you go to.
Oh, I'm almost there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You've only got 3 chapters left, man, and then it's over. But because I mean, don't get me wrong. There's open spaces that you go to in the other chapters, but it's like you're in the last zone with all the side stuff.
Good to know. Getting there. But like Ron said, still probably another 90 hours for the platinum, but still enjoying it quite thoroughly. Still enjoying it.
Yeah, I love Kevin's comment. You can explore and rebirth. Because of course we know Kevin did not.
Kevin the Wizard.
Yeah.
Yes, you can explore and rebirth from Kevin. God.
I was gonna say, I think Kevin told me he didn't even do a summon fight at all in that whole game. So
Not even one? Just the music alone for the summon battle is so worth it, right?
He's
like
the
that
wizard,
summon
man.
battle
He's the
music is
wizard.
pretty
He
epic.
does not have time for that.
yeah. Actually, Kevin is right about this. Chapter 13 is like 4 hours of like story. So yeah, it's a whole thing. So please be excited.
Oh.
Please be excited, man.
Very excited.
Yeah, I'm excited because again, I know you're getting close to the end, and I know. But so then, is the plan when you finish it to go back for the hard mode right away, or are you going to give it a break and then come back to it?
Honestly, haven't decided yet. I have to see how I feel. I think I think it was the RPG Game episode where like you guys were. I asked a question about my experience with the platinum, and I think it was you or Garrett that gave good advice, which is like if you take a break, you're going to lose that muscle memory.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the only issue, especially for hard mode, like where you got to be good. So even if I might need a break, I wouldn't take a very long one because I'd be worried about losing the muscle memory. Just because, like I said, I am making progress in terms of fighting the summons at full might. I'd be kind of frustrated if I lose that muscle memory and then I'm getting really pummeled in all the VR challenges. So we shall see. But I'm open to taking some breaks because it's been a long run.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, guys, you're going to be well over 100 hours by the time it's over. So that's interesting. And then, Fulia, what about you? What'd you play this week?
So I'm going to start off with the non-PlayStation game, and I picked up and played for the first time Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door. I have never played this game before because I never owned the GameCube. So I picked it up on Switch, and I've been playing it. I'm kind of towards the end of Chapter 1 at the moment. And I'm noticing how long these chapters are. They're very long.
Well, it's a long game. It's like a 40 to 50 hour game. So.
Yeah.
But it is great. It is great.
I am enjoying the characters. The dialogue is quite funny, and also quite dark and creepy at points.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Nintendo.
Why?
Because
it's
it's
a kid's
Nintendo.
game.
Well, I mean,
It is not a kid's game. How dare you?
Yeah, come on,
It's a
it's not a
family
kid's game.
Is it?
Is it?
It's supposed
It's
Yeah,
to
but I
be.
say, that's not the 1,000-year door I remember.
I was going to say,
family
like,
game.
with the Mario RPGs, whether it's, Paper Mario or Mario and Luigi, they like to go places that they don't normally explore in some of the other Mario games, as far as exploring themes and stuff like that. So, yeah, they like to experiment a little bit. Kind of like what Zelda did with Majora's Mask, as an example. It's like a good contrast.
Interesting. Yeah, but I am enjoying it. I love the look of it all, and it's really cute. We got a pre-order bonus here at the store that I work at least. We get 5 sheets of Paper Mario that we can turn into paper airplanes.
Oh my God. Amazing.
That's my pre-order bonus.
I mean, it's almost as good as the slipcover that they were giving out at GameStop or EB Games here in Canada, where it was a slipcover that was just the GameCube cover for Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door with like the GameCube logo and everything on it. So
yeah, that's actually kind of cool. I know that the EB, so that was specific to my store, which is JB Hi-Fi. EB Games was giving out magnets, Paper Mario characters in magnet form.
Okay.
Which I feel like is better than paper planes, but you know.
Well, they're gonna last a little bit longer than
but
paper
they're not
planes
magnets.
are.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna fold one of the sheets into a paper plane, and I'm gonna actually, because it looks really cool. I mean, and I want to get a frame for it and frame him up because he looks really cute, and he's double-sided too, so that when you fold into a paper plane, you can actually see all facets of him.
It's also one of those things.
Okay.
That's pretty
actually
cool.
things
That's
too
actually
where,
pretty
like,
cool.
That's really thematic because it's Paper Mario, who's made out of paper.
Yes.
Pretty cool.
Exactly.
I changed my mind. This is actually better than the magnets.
You reckon?
Well,
Okay.
Ron,
Yeah.
the insane Cloud Posse would be so disappointed in you right now if they heard you say that because they are big fans of magnets.
I am not worried about ICP being upset with me at all.
They're big fans of the show, I heard. But
They are.
Well, I'm glad they're fans of the show, but their music is cheeks.
God,
wow.
No, Ron's right. There's no disputing that.
But they're good role models at least.
Anyways,
Yes. May I continue?
please
Yes.
continue.
Yes, continue. Continue.
So the other games that I have played as well that were on PlayStation was Dave the Diver. I played a little bit more of that at the start of the week. Still enjoying it. Like I'll it'll go away for a little bit and then I'll come back to it and then I'm still like enjoying the diving aspect of it. I've gotten to a point where I've come across like the sea people and we have to make a communicator sort of device for them. I've managed to get to a point where I can dive a little bit deeper. I've managed to hire a couple of extra people to work at the sushi bar. So it's actually pretty good. I'm really enjoying it. Yes, Ron.
Hello, Fulia. Have you become more friendly with Ellie? Are you a fan of her now?
I have not seen Ellie since the last time I've seen Ellie, which was a while ago. And
Have you killed her?
With this.
Have you killed her? Is that what you're saying?
No.
Oh.
She's
that
not a
seemed like a
fish to be
suspicious
killed.
answer.
No.
You can kill people in Dave the Diver?
Apparently.
I think you can.
No, you
Wow.
can't kill them, but you can have underwater fights with them.
So you
my
drowned her,
God.
is what you're saying.
She never came into the water. I don't know what you're talking about. She's still on a boat somewhere else, so don't worry. She's fine.
I have to get someone from the ranch to look into this. I don't know. I don't believe it.
Do whatever you please. I don't care.
I don't even know what this show is anymore. What did I sign up for? What's going on here?
This is what happens, Ryan. We've been gone for a month. This is what happens. The energy is back.
I mean, JB it says it right there. That sounded really suspicious.
Exactly, JB.
Come on.
JB's right. That was really suspicious.
Why is everyone ganging up on me? Just because I'm the only Australian. Jeez.
Oh Lord.
Getting singled out. Anyway, the other games that I've played, I played through and finished Coffee Talk. I really enjoyed Coffee Talk. It's been really good. I really enjoyed the dialogue and the characters and everything. So I really loved it. I do plan on going back into it and trying to platinum it. So I'm going to clean up some of the trophies for Coffee Talk.
Yes, continuing the platinum chase. Mm-hmm.
Well, that's the thing. I haven't really been hunting trophies for a while. So it's been a good month or two since I last platinumed anything. So yeah, I've slowed down that trophy hunt, but I did really enjoy Coffee Talk, so I do want to go back into it and pick up all the other
He
trophies.
deserves
for
it. Coffee Talk is a
Yeah,
good game. Yeah.
It's really good. And then the last thing, which I will, because I know a lot of you probably never even heard of this game, is a game called Shim. And I'm just going to bring up a little thingy for this video if I can get
Please
it.
do. I've never heard of that one.
I was gonna say I saw this on the docket. I'm like, what is this? Why
it's bad when Ryan doesn't know. Ryan's usually the gaming encyclopedia.
That's true.
Why is the I not capitalized in the name?
Wow.
Oh, it's kind of like the writing for Nier. There's a reason. There's got to be.
I can't seem to get the video to do the thing. I don't know why.
See?
It's
Even
fine.
the computer's like, they don't need to see this.
I hate this.
Wrong.
But
That's too much. Come on.
I know. I'm gonna make sure I show. So it's essentially like you're hopping through different. So you're hopping through shadows to traverse through the world. It's essentially a platformer. It's a platformer, a puzzle game. It's a puzzle platformer. And I'm pretty sure. I think I've got it. Hold on a second.
Okay.
Because you need to see it to understand what I'm talking about.
Of course. The audio listeners, by the way, will not be able to see this.
No, I do apologize for that.
Don't worry, audio listeners. I will give you play-by-play. If it's cheeks, I'm gonna let you know.
If. Might not be.
Yeah.
So it's essentially you're a little sort of a shadow frog. You go from between shadow to shadow, and you have to get to a specific like destination, and it'll show you where you need to go. It's actually really cool. The meaning behind Shim is that every living being, every object has a shadow. And you're the little frog shadow trying to get back to the person that you got removed from, essentially. So you are someone's shadow, so you have to try and get back to them. So that's what's kind of cool about this. And so you can, as you can see, you can go from object to object. You can go from people and animal shadows. But you need to sort of figure out ways. You can also trigger things. And you can pick up objects as you go along. So you can cause a little bit of chaos by the looks of things. But I got the chance to play the playtest. So I was invited to play the playtest of this game. And yeah, it was really, really good. And I really enjoyed it. So I would highly recommend checking out Shim. It'll be coming to pretty much all the platforms, I think, except Xbox. I'm not sure if it's coming to Xbox. But it'll be on PC. It'll be on Nintendo Switch and on PlayStation. So definitely, give it a chance. I think there's also a demo coming out. Steam Next Fest is apparently happening next week, I think.
Yep. And should be in line with like Summer Game Fest. They usually do that.
Yeah. So they're going to be bringing out a demo for Shim. So yeah, if you're curious about the game, check out the demo. And yeah, it's good fun. Yes, Ron.
You named a lot of games, but none of them were Duck Detective. And I know that's out. Why have you not played that yet?
I only just bought it last night. I haven't had a chance to play it. I am going to do my best to get around to playing it,
wow.
but it will happen.
Okay.
I do have it. It's in my library now. I have it in my backlog.
That's fine.
So
That's fine.
Don't worry. I own it.
All right.
Have you played it?
Not yet.
Then you can't tell me and be shameful of me not playing.
Well, here's the thing. I have it on the Steam wish list. I'm trying to hold out hope that it will come to PlayStation. Hopefully.
Also, the wheel hasn't chosen it yet. That plays a big part in it.
Well, once I buy it, then it goes on the wheel.
See, that's the thing. He has to buy it first.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
But
it's even further away.
I want to wait. If it's going to come to PlayStation, then I'm fine.
It's currently out on PC and Nintendo Switch.
No, but no one wants to play games there. We want to play games on PlayStation.
Excuse me, I want to play.
I don't want to play games on the potato.
On PC.
I don't want to play games on the potato. I'm fine with the PC, but no, sir.
I love the fact that I said this, but I'm literally about to talk to y'all about a Wii U game in 5 minutes. So,
Ooh.
What has this show turned into?
Exciting.
This is disgusting, appalling. This is a shame.
No,
Ryan,
I got to hear this. I'm excited.
Please regale us with what you've been playing this week.
oh well, thank you so much for the kind segue, Fulia. First of all, I finished Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. It's over. I don't have to play that game ever again. Maybe I will one day. No, I didn't hate it, but I was glad that it was over. Is because I was really enjoying it, and I do like where the story goes, and Ron and I both alluded to it, where there's stuff that I don't really love, and I'm interested to maybe talk to both of y'all about spoilers when Matt finishes it, maybe.
Yes, it would be nice.
But I overall, I came away from it really, really enjoying the game. It's actually probably one of my favorite, if not my favorite game I played this year, despite all the things about the story that I don't like. So, because the gameplay, I felt like was on point. Like, it was, the combat was way better than the first game. The exploration was way better than Remake. I felt that the pacing was better if you didn't do a ton of the side stuff. And yeah, like I just felt like the game was very strong overall. It's just, there are certain things with the direction of the story I don't like, and that's okay. We'll talk about that later with spoilers. But there's also a lot of stuff with the story that I did like all the moments that they recreated from the first game that they did one for one things. I loved. Like, I loved a lot of that stuff, including all the bosses that were callbacks to old bosses, but then reinvented in like a new and interesting way. Like, there was a lot of cool stuff with Rebirth, and I do think it's a very good game. Definitely much better than the first one. Go ahead, Matt from the press pool.
Brian, please tell us, who did you go on a date with?
I mean, it's obvious. We both know the answer to this question. It's Tifa, of course.
Yes.
She was my pick going back to when I played the OG Final Fantasy VII for the first time, and there's been no deviation.
I saw the face you made, Koala. He was talking respectfully about Tifa.
Of course, I like her
What are
personality.
you talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We saw the face you made.
The queen.
Yeah,
Sure.
You're not fooling anybody.
yeah. No, but seriously, I love her dynamic with Cloud, and I think they play it up even more in this game in particular. So it's just like it's hard not to root for the two of them in a lot of ways.
And you have to shout out about the character development for Barrett. They did a way better job with Barrett this time around. Fantastic job with him.
Yeah. Which, his section in the original Final Fantasy VII was always really great too, with going on his, the side story that you go on with him. And I loved how that played out in this game too. It was really cool. But yeah, the only thing that's kind of struck me was like, the one of the things I was worried about with the story is that, they go in a certain path with the narrative, and it's just not as good as the original narrative in a lot of ways. Or I just feel it takes away from it. Like, it doesn't make it feel as special. Like, if someone who plays this game for the first time, who maybe didn't play OG Final Fantasy VII, I just don't think some of those moments will hit as hard as when we played the OG game back in 1997. Like, I just feel like that's just because of the way they switch up the story this time around. So yeah, I mean, like I said, I think that's another discussion for when we can maybe talk in a more of a spoilery sense about it. But also, I'm going to mention Final Fantasy 14/Fall Guys is back. I've of course been hanging out in the gold saucer, trying to earn all the rewards, the Fall Guys rewards for Final Fantasy 14. It's been very fun. Of course, I also played Hellblade 2 this week. Again, I talked about it earlier, but our review discussion's up right now. Go listen to it if you want to hear kind of my full thoughts on it. That game is also very good. Definitely one of my favorite games of the year, and honestly, probably one of my favorite games from Xbox in the last 10 years. So it's definitely definitely a good game, especially if you like Hellblade 1. If you liked Hellblade 1, it's more of Hellblade 1, but all the best ways possible. And then last but not least, of course, my newest game that I'm playing, I wanted to go with something old. And I had to pick games from the list of the 10 games I wanted to beat in 2024 for the first time. So 2 games won that poll. The Legend of Zelda Link Between Worlds and Metroid Other M. So I'm playing both of those games right now. So I'm playing Metroid Other M on my Wii U through the power of backwards compatibility because it is on the Wii. But it's got that HDMI connection. You need to hook up all your Wii stuff to it. It's great. It's the best Wii that's out there. I think that game's interesting. The voice acting is so bad, but man,
I was waiting for that part.
But man, it's cool I kind of like the ideas they had with some of the gameplay elements with Metroid Other M. And it's too bad that it kind of gets bogged down a little bit because you have to point the cursor at the screen to shoot, but then otherwise you're holding your controller sideways. And I'm just like, I wish they'd just let me play with the nunchuck so I could aim that way instead. So yeah, that's my only gripe with it. But otherwise, as a Metroid fan, this is kind of the hole in my Metroid, knowledge at this point. So I needed to play it at some point. This is the year for Metroid Other M to finally be played. I mean, for God's sakes, I played Metroid Prime Federation Force before playing Metroid Other M. So yeah, I finished that game, Ron. I don't know if you knew that. Yeah.
You're a good man.
Yeah. Look, it was so much better when I had co-op with a friend. But anyways, we should probably segue away. Fulia has got her arms in the air. What's going on, Fulia?
Hold on a second. I forgot to mention something that this past week I have been dying to play Unicorn Overlord. But the thing is, even though it's on sale, it hasn't really gone down as much. So, I still ended up picking it up.
Let's
So
go.
I have it now.
Oh,
I bought it.
okay.
However, I managed to get it at less than the discounted price that's on PlayStation Plus. That's on the PlayStation Store right now.
Was this for the bounty of killing Ellie? Is this what happens?
No.
Use that extra cash for that? No. Oh.
No. I got a nice discount at work.
Okay. Keeping
So I
secrets.
managed-
She kept
Far
secrets for the
out.
show. She didn't tell us, Matt. This is the kind of friend she's becoming.
Currently on
It is
sale on the PlayStation Store for, I think it was like 71 Australian dollars. I managed to get it for 60.
There you go. That's pretty awesome. Yeah. No, that game's been going on sale a lot, like even here in the States.
Yeah, I want to say, I think it's like on 25 or 30% sale now here, I think.
Yeah. Well, very nice, Valia. I'm so glad you have Unicorn Overlord. Hopefully we'll
I now have it.
Expecting
Hopefully I'll be
updates.
able to jump into it
Expecting
soon.
updates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Well, anyways, before we top into this week's topic, Matt, real quick, you were not here last week. We put in our predictions for the PlayStation showcase that could have been this week, or it sounds very likely it'll be next week. So, I wanted to make sure that you got a chance to get your predictions in. Since we all went around and got our predictions in, I want you to get in on it, so then we can add you to the fun as far as totaling up scores to see who wins. So I had Matt prepare 3 predictions to give us. So Matt, you have the floor, my friend.
I think Capcom's going to do exactly what they did in 2018 with the Resident Evil 2 Magic, where they announced it at E3 summertime, and they said it's coming out 6 months later in January. I think they do the exact same thing. We're going to see the showcase, Resident Evil 9, boom, release date, January 2025. Lock it in. I think it's coming.
Lock it in.
sure.
That's Matt's lock of the week.
All right.
So you're chewing into the week.
Confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If-
they got a pretty good rotation system. I think they're good. It's 2025, and I think they like that January spot. I think Resident Evil 2 did it, and maybe Resident Evil 7. I don't remember.
Yeah, Resident Evil 7 was
I think
also
it's
Yeah,
a-
Resident Evil 7 showed up at a PlayStation showcase years
Yeah,
back.
no, it was also a January game too. So the only one that wasn't was Resident Evil 3.
Yeah, that was like March, right? Yeah. So I think they like that window. So I think that's my first prediction. And then my second one, I think we're gonna see an update for Metal Gear. What's it called? Delta?
Yeah,
The remake
Yeah.
first.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're gonna get an update. I think we're actually gonna see gameplay footage, and I also think they're gonna do 2025 release date.
Okay. Not a specific date, just a standard 2025, right? That's what you're saying?
I think Konami's gonna play it safe and just do 2025 and not lock themselves in, just in
good.
case.
Okay.
Yeah, but I feel like they are gonna have to show gameplay footage just because we need to see more and maybe even hear some voice acting from David Hayter. I'm pretty sure it's not re-record. I think it's the old one, but they got to get the hype going for this game. So I think we're gonna see that. And then my third prediction, I'm just gonna steal from Fulia. I think it was Fulia that predicted Astrobot, right? That's what you predicted.
No one
No,
actually
that
predicted
was
Astrobot.
an honorable mention.
Yeah, she gave a pass on that, which was surprising.
Yeah, we none of us actually
Okay.
predicted Astrobot.
Yeah.
Then I shall take it. Astrobot, and not on PSVR 2. They're gonna give a slap in the face to everybody who owns it and says it comes to PlayStation 5. And I think they're gonna do it for, I want to say like October 2024. I think it's gonna come out pretty quickly.
Okay. Yeah. I mean that's
I'd like it. Yeah, go ahead.
that's one of those games where, like, we talked about it last week, where, like, I really hope that even though it's not going to be a PlayStation VR 2 exclusive, I hope that they add a VR mode to it, kind of like Resident Evil 4 did, where, like, you can play the game in VR. Like, I hope that they do that later, because Astrobot 1 was so good in VR that I would love to see them do that with this game, too, and have it as an option for people.
Fingers crossed. But
Actually, Matt, that's a good point about the October release, because if the PS5 Pro is coming around that time, they might have some actual, some more details about that.
Yeah.
Maybe some exclusive features. You never know.
Yeah. Well, it might be a launch title for the PS5.
It could.
Right.
It could.
So, yeah. Also, I will throw out there, Matt, the only prediction you stole was mine. That's it. Because you and I both made the exact same Resident Evil 9 prediction, which is good, because if that actually happens, we both win, because I am so ready for them to announce that game too. Although I mentioned, because I'm like, I went a little more specific in talking about it, where I still think January, but I talked about the premise where I think it's going to take place in like a ruined raccoon city, and you play as Leon going back for some reason to investigate something.
I think you're right. I think they are going to play it safe and go with Leon. And look, Leon's my boy, but a part of me does feel like other characters need the limelight. Like we just had Leon in Resident Evil 4. He's my boy.
100%. I would love it instead if they did Claire and had that same scenario, or God forbid Rebecca Chambers or Jill or someone else. Yeah,
100%, 100%.
Yeah.
Like Leon, he's like we just had the game with him in Resident Evil 4. But, you know, he's popular, so I could see it. Yeah. Resident Evil 9.
Or I mean, what I was really hoping for from the beginning was I was really hoping it was going to be Rose instead. But
I was hoping for that too.
Yeah.
I know.
After the DLC, I was like, I think they're going to shy away from it being Rose, but like, I kind of want it to still be Rose. But
I love it. She's a fantastic character. I love Ethan Winters and Rose Winters, but I think Capcom's going to play it safe and they're going to go with who's more popular.
And also the reason why I think it'll tie into Raccoon City is because we got the Resident Evil 1 remake coming soon, and I think they want to kind of like tie those two games together. Yeah.
If that thing is real, I'm going to lose my mind. Like I'm going to be so hyped for that. I love Resident Evil 1 remake. Like that, I play that game regularly here and there, and it's still it's got the spooky spooks. Like it is very scary.
No,
Ron, you're shaking your head. It's a spooky game still, right? Even though it's old.
Hey, I'm not knocking it. I'm not knocking it. If it's spooky spooks to you, it's fine.
Look, the giant sharks are spooky spook.
Oh yes, it's polygonal danger.
Crimson heads.
Yeah, polygons are
crimson heads. Like,
yeah,
but yeah. Oh my god,
back then
it's still spooky, all right.
Now, no, not so much.
No, but seeing what they could do with like a full remake of Resident Evil 1, now with like how they've been doing the modern remakes would be awesome. Like I can't, and really bring the spooky spooks back in a big way. I think.
Oh, all over it, day one. Even if I had some outlandish, not buying new games in 2026, throwing that rule away for that game, buying it day one.
Oh yeah, loopholes already.
Oh yeah.
No.
Oh yeah.
But you did the same thing this year with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Matt just makes his own rules. So
you make rules, right?
It's all right.
Yeah.
That's why I shouldn't be there anyway. Just don't even make the rule at all.
Cool.
Do it.
No. Well, we still have rules.
Yeah. Well, we'll find out this week if the PlayStation is a thing or State of Play, because we keep hearing now it's probably going to be State of Play instead. But that's okay, because a lot of the stuff might still be at a State of Play, and we'll see this week if it all comes to pass who is the real winner. And if it does happen, of course, we'll talk about it on next week.
We know Pepsi Man's not going to be there. So
no, we know 100% that Pepsi Man will be there.
So I'm going to be safe. I don't have to buy a potato, so this is fine.
Yes, Matt. In case you didn't know, there is a side bet between Fulia and Ron where if Pepsi Man is announced in any way at the PlayStation Showcase or State of Play, Ron will go buy a Nintendo Switch.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, I have 100% confidence that's not going to happen, so it'll be fine.
I'm going to laugh so hard if it actually happens.
Don't worry. I'm going to laugh so hard, too, because I'm going to be like, well, this is fine. I have something to collect dust. This is great.
Look forward to Ron Hermanholz coming out in the Pepsi Man outfit going in people's faces. Like
Herman is way too cool for that. Herman will be the last person to do that.
Are you saying the Pepsi Man costume is not cool, Ron?
It's not cool enough for Herman. Herman's not going to get in that. That's not happening. King Herman
will make it
no,
cool.
Sir.
Yeah. Anyways, I feel like it's about time. Almost 50 minutes into this show, we should probably transition into our topic of the week. We are going to talk about difficulty settings in video games. What is the perfect level of difficulty for us? How do we come about deciding our favorite level of difficulty? Of course, Matt, since you've crowned yourself the story mode king, I want to start with you, man. How do you approach difficulty in games? What do you think about this topic?
I'm all over the place. I can't make up my mind, and that's the truth. Like I a part of me wants to say like we definitely like I'm a proponent for accessibility. There's modes for it, but I'm guilty of thanks for the easy mode. I'm gonna play on easy mode, and sometimes I'm guilty of forget normal mode. I'm just going straight to story mode. Like I'm actually pretty guilty of that for a lot of backtrackers games where I won't even try on normal. Like, and when I say try, it's like 10 minutes on normal doesn't count, and I just switch to story mode. So I do understand a lot of people's perspectives. Like, well, you play it. Here's the one setting, which is how the developers intended, so you get the full experience. Because if you do offer normal, easy mode, some people just don't even bother trying on the harder mode. So I do see that proponent, but at the same time, I still feel like you do need accessibility. You do need the options because like there are some games where give me that hard mode. Look at me, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Rebirth, all the Resident Evil games. Like I'm playing them on hard mode. Like good God, I'm already at 90 hours for Rebirth. Okay, because I'm going for it. But
90 hours is
for
a
other
cakewalk.
games,
it's fine. You got this.
Oh,
Thank
Hambo
you,
and
I
Johnny
appreciate
brings up
that.
a great point in the chat.
No.
If you play on story and normal, maybe that's one full experience.
No, Johnny, no. Don't do this.
thank you. Maybe I like that.
No.
I'm gonna use that next time.
God.
So I don't know. Like sometimes I can't make up my mind if I want accessibility or if it should be intended how the developers want you to experience because yeah, sometimes I just cop out and I'm just going to story mode. And I do like it when developers put a lot of time and effort into actually making a big difference in terms of the experience between easy, normal, and hard. Where it's not just like, well, now they're bullet sponges and you die quicker. Like when they actually put a lot of effort into making the experience significantly different. So, I think I've mentioned this before, like in Resident Evil 7, when you play on the hardest difficulty, the enemy placements change. So you get the spooky spooks again because you actually don't know where everything is. And yes, they're bullet sponges and you die a lot quicker. But just having that changes the gameplay quite significantly. Remake and Rebirth, when you play in hard mode, you can't use items. So it's not just, they're harder to beat because they got more HP. But the fact that you can't use items changes it just in a significant way where you have to try it in a different way. So I like it when they do that as opposed to just making it easier or harder, but they make it actual effort to here. This is a brand new experience. So I don't know. I'm all over the place because sometimes I'm like, give me that story mode. Other times I'm like, nope, give me that punishment.
Yeah. And I will say, you brought up accessibility a bunch of times there, Matt. And I will say, like, having a good suite of accessibility options in like an accessibility menu, I think goes a long way where maybe you don't need to have that as a difficulty thing. Maybe that you just need a bunch of sliders to control certain aspects of the gameplay in order to bring more people into it rather than having the difficulty mode kind of be like a one-stop shop for that. Obviously that takes a lot more work on the developer side, but I think that, that is worth it if you're trying to include as many people as possible playing your games in a lot of ways, especially like we saw that with Last of Us Part 2, I think is a great example of that, where you could tweak so much stuff with the game in the accessibility mode. And if you turn a lot of that on, like a lot of that stuff just makes the game naturally easier, even without having to switch the game to an easier difficulty. So I think that goes a long way. What was interesting is that I, of course, mentioned I played Hellblade 2 this week. And it did something that I don't see very often in games, but I think it's something I'm seeing more of, that hopefully is something that maybe we see more companies do, which is in Hellblade 2, the default difficulty setting is not normal, easy, or hard, it's dynamic difficulty. So as you play through the game, depending on how well you're doing in the game or how poorly you're doing, the game will automatically adjust the difficulty either down to easy or up to hard if you're doing like super well or if you're not doing well at all, which I thought was super cool. Like I noticed it in the gameplay too. Like in some of the fights where I was really struggling, I noticed that the parry window, because that's a game where parrying is actually very important, really, really widened to the point where you had a really like big window to press the parry button in order to parry an attack. And other times where I was doing really well, where that parry window really shrunk and became like much more difficult to hit, or I was just taking much more damage. Like Senua would get knocked down like in one hit because it had bumped me up to hard mode because I was doing so well. So I like that idea of the game, feeling you out as you play through it, because it's one of those things where I usually find anyways that for me, I usually like to keep my difficulty setting on whatever the developer intended, which is normal or whatever the default is, and only switch it if like a mechanic or something like that is very frustrating, or I'm just not into it. And I think dynamic difficulty really helps with that, because if the game senses you're frustrated, it can bump down the difficulty for you so you don't have to go through all that to get you through to the next option rather than bang your head against the wall. But also, again, you can go into the options in Hellblade as an example and just turn that off and go to easy, normal, or hard if you want to just turn that system off. Like, I think I would love to see more games do that. Like Topspin, which I've also been playing, kind of in my off time. It also has that as well, where it actually has like a dynamic difficulty where if you're doing really well, like the tennis player on the opposite end will do better. Or if the game sees you're struggling, it'll pull back a bit. So that's the type of thing I would love to see kind of more games do. But I'm curious to know what you think about this, Fulia.
So I'm I'm the type that will try it on normal mode as much as possible. But if it gets too hard for me, then I'll bump it down to easy or story mode. Case in point, I think I did that with God of War 2018, and I played it to a certain point that on just normal, that I got stuck in a specific area trying to battle all these like enemies, and I just couldn't get through it, and it was frustrating me to a point where I was ready to quit on it. So I was like, all right, you know what, if it's getting that hard, I need to bump it down so that I can at least play through the story. So that's what I ended up doing. I generally prefer to just play it on normal mode. I'm not the type of person who goes out of her way to, try and challenge herself. If I want to play this, I want to play the game. I want to play through it and have fun with it. And if I want a challenge, then I'll go out of my way to play something that has challenge to it. But when it comes to its difficulty setting, I'm vanilla. Let's just go normal. Yep. Normal all the way. And if it's something that has a lot of story to it, then I'll definitely most likely play it in story mode just so that I can experience the story and finish it without getting any kind of like frustrations by the end of it. That's just the way that I play. Because, I'm more of a casual gamer than I am like a hardcore gamer. So I want to enjoy my experience of playing games.
Yeah, you're in it to have fun. You're not there to
exactly.
Not in it for the challenge. And I'm kind of like that really. Too. Like in my younger years, I would probably bump up more games to hard difficulty and give myself a challenge. But I don't really do that anymore. Like that's like I would rather spend more time playing other games than trying to spend all this time playing one game with a bunch of challenges. Or if I really want that experience, I'll go play Final Fantasy 14 because I'll go do the ultimate boss raids instead, which are ridiculously difficult, and you'll spend 5 hours trying to defeat one boss, and that's the challenge of coordination with your team. So there you go. But Ron, what about you, man?
99% of the time, I'm staying on normal or default difficulty. I don't drop it down to easy or story. It's just a personal thing. I mean, I like challenging myself. The only time I find myself bumping it down is if it's a genre that I don't really deal with too much. Like strategy RPGs, if I hear a strategy RPG is really good, I'll start off on normal, but if it starts to get a little too frustrating, I'll bump it down. But outside of that, man, I'm always on normal or default. That's just, like I said, that's just me. I don't have a problem with those modes being available because everybody should be able to enjoy a game on the skill level that they want to play on. I don't believe in whole gatekeeping things like when Sifu added, difficulty options. People were losing their mind about, how dare they need to get good and stuff. And I'm just like, look, Sifu, those developers knew what they were doing. They was like, okay, we saw how many people bought it, but it's a tough game. They saw how many people bought it, and they were like, you know what, we need to open the doors for other people to play it. And they added difficulty options. You don't have to choose the easier difficulties if you don't want to, but people lost their mind over it. I believe in games being accessible. I mean, in my mind, FromSoft is probably the only ones who deserve to gatekeep. Those games were meant for an intended reason. This is the intended difficulty of it. That's fine.
I don't know. You said, just wait. One of these days, they will add difficulty options to their games. Mark,
you think so?
Yes.
You think so, eh?
I don't know, man. Miyazaki, I don't know.
I feel like they will get to the point one day where there will be, mark my words, there will be a FromSoft game in the next 10 years that has difficulty options.
I'll agree with you if Miyazaki's not the one running the show.
Yeah.
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 If Miyazaki's not in charge of the project, then it'll happen.
Right. Or again, I think that they could go the route where they don't need to have difficulty options. I think they can just add an accessibility setting menu instead and go that route.
Yeah. Or they could do it like Elden Ring. Like I said, Elden Ring, I don't want to sit and say it had difficulty options, but if you ran into a hurdle, then you could go other places to kind of level up and kind of come back to that.
Well, not only that, but with Elden Ring specifically, the character classes themselves were almost like difficulty settings. Like if you play as like one of the ranged or magic characters, like you may as well be like that may as well be the easy mode for the game.
Okay, yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah, especially like I remember when the game first came out and before they balanced a lot of the classes out. Like if you were playing the magic character, you were just going in and just wrecking shop. Yeah. It was kind of ridiculous.
I couldn't bring myself to magic. Ugh. I couldn't do that.
Oh, jeez. Oh,
I'm sorry. I don't do magic classes. They bore me to death. I like to get in there. Sorry.
Ron just likes to get in there and just be in the heat of battle. But
that's what barbarians do, man. That's what I like to do.
Oh, jeez. But I thought we went over this on the RPG cave. We gave you a different class instead.
And you were also wrong about it. But
well spoken, Ron the dwarf. Well spoken.
I'm too tall to be a dwarf.
That's true. That's the thing. I don't actually know how tall anyone is because we can't really tell on the episode. Well, except Matt. I know how tall Matt is because we've met in person. But,
I'm 6 foot. I'm not a dwarf. I can't be a dwarf.
You know, you might be one of the tallest people at Carpool Gaming, Ron.
Am I?
No, I think Fee is the only one who's taller than you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Matt, how tall are you? Wait a minute. Because I thought Matt was tall.
I thought Garrett was tall.
Wow. That's
Yeah, you know what? I thought Garrett was tall too.
Yeah.
No,
No,
I'm
Matt's
one of the
not that
shortest.
tall.
To be
I've
honest.
met
I'm one of the
Matt.
shortest.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm one
Wow,
of the shortest.
Koala, really? just call Matt out.
Yeah. Sean and I are basically the same height. And,
Okay.
Yeah, Matt's a little bit taller, a little bit shorter than us, but not by too
Shorter.
much. Not by too much. Oh man, how tall is Fuya? I wonder. She's probably like
She's a bit taller than me.
yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe she's as tall as
by
like
much.
25 Pepsi cans stacked on top of each other.
I
We're
can't
going to
do the
use
math.
Pepsi cans as a measurement now.
Sure. Yeah.
I have a
tried, I was like,
feeling
no.
I might be roughly about the same height as you, Ryan. Maybe.
Oh, okay. I'm 5'9" and a half.
Okay, then I'm shorter than you.
Okay.
Oh.
I think
you
I'm
got,
5
you got
foot
full your beat.
6 or 7,
Okay.
if that's how that works.
Yeah.
I'm 168 centimeters.
Okay. Well, I was gonna say
Wow.
I'm like
Weird measurements. Weird
I'm like
measurements.
182 centimeters. So
Okay, you're taller than me.
Wow.
yeah, it's not very often we actually have to bust out centimeters as a unit. of
Yeah.
measurement.
Oh, yeah. She said that.
Not really.
That's not for the Americans. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you go for a Canadian driver's license, Ron, you'll have to know what your height is in centimeters.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Anyways, getting back to difficulties, though. First of all, I love all what you said. I will also mention as well, the only other time I really change it from normal is like if I'm playing like an action RPG and the boss, like especially a Japanese action RPG, and the boss health pools are like just infinite. Because a lot of the times that'll happen in some of the Tales games or like Grand Blue Fantasy Versus or Relink was one of the biggest examples of that. Then I'll put it down to easy, not because it's difficult, but so I don't have to sit there and just press X over and over again to whack away at this boss's health bar for 10 minutes, like just to make the game go by quicker. So
I think when I was playing Final Fantasy 16, I started off with normal, and I feel like one of the first like rings that I managed to find that I equipped actually helped me with the battles and stuff, where it sort of automated the different like combinations and stuff. But then it got to a point where I felt like I wanted to have control over my combos. So I actually ended up removing that ring and putting something else on just so that I could be in control of them. So I kind of like that aspect of games where even though there are difficulty settings, there are also options within the game to equip your character with certain abilities that'll help ease you through certain like fights and stuff. But so when it came with me, I started off with that ring that actually, I can't remember the name of the ring.
I know what you mean. And the fact there's multiple
Yeah.
rings, because there's one for like, perfect parries, one for purchase
Yeah.
and things like that. There's
Yeah.
a bunch of them.
So until I felt myself confident enough that I knew what buttons to press to get the different, like the different abilities that I wanted, like different things in combos that I wanted to apply, I kept that ring on. And then when I was ready, I removed it, and I was actually a lot more confident in that respect. So I kind of do appreciate that in certain games where they give you that option as well.
Yeah, became the master of evading in that game.
Exactly.
So much so that I had to make my own pin out of it.
Good God. Well, let's get into some of these, listener questions and comments. We're going to start with Awesome Dave 1337, who said, "Good evening, my esteemed friends. Perhaps I am in the minority, but I think forced difficulty options are bad for video games. As a huge fan of Souls-like games, difficulty is important for the style of that game. I actually like self-imposed difficulty playstyles, such as low-level running a game or a junction-free playthrough of the greatest role-playing game of all time, Final Fantasy VIII. He didn't say that. I added that little critique to it. Yeah, I think that's interesting. I do. Again, I agree, but also disagree. Like, first of all, I like the idea of you making, if you want to make an extra challenge, you can just make that challenge yourself, rather than the game developers doing that, where you just don't take advantage of some mechanics. In fact, for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, there was a good 4 chapters where I didn't upgrade any of my character skills, and it made the game infinitely more difficult, because I was just like, oh yeah, I forgot that the system's even there. But you can also do that to kind of make the game a little bit harder. So I like the idea of doing that, or like Nuzlocke runs for Pokemon. That's like a big thing in the Pokemon community. But yeah, as far as
I did that in Resident Evil 2 for the Platinum run.
Right.
I combined the trophies. I think I combined. There's one trophy where you have to do like less than 10,000 steps. You can't use any healing. You can't use the item box. And I combined those 3 trophies, and also combined the S run. So I combined all 4 of them.
I remember that. You
just
maniac.
to be efficient. Because I was like, yeah, I can do these in one run. And to get an S rank, I think you have to beat it as quickly as you can.
yeah,
Let me tell you something. When I got to G3, I got wrecked because I was already down in health. And I'm trying to do it as fast as I can. Like, I can't tell you how hard that was. So yeah, you can make it as hard as you want. Like, if you're, like Ron said, like a maniac, and you're trying to combine all the trophies together. Because the guide is like, do this run on easy, do this one on another easy. And I was like, nope, I don't need 2-3 runs. 1 run for me, 1 experience. And yeah, it was a little bit hard.
It was worth it for the conversations, though. That man was. Woo, some of the conversations he was having, he was frustrated.
I really was. 'Cause I was like, I wasn't even sure if I was going to be able to do it. And then I was like, and obviously I had the option of like, I'll just heal myself, and then I could do this much easier. But I was like, but then I got to play it again, all over again, and not heal. And I'm so, Ryan, you know where G3 is. Like, I'm pretty close to the end. So I was like, I can do it. And then I stuck through it. It took a while, but I did it.
yeah. It actually kind of reminds me of all the like stories you had about bashing your head against the wall playing against some of the summons from Seven Rebirth. So
Didn't have to do it that way, but here I am.
my God. Anyways, moving on. We got CowboyDangerD, who says, as someone who works a lot and doesn't have a lot of time and gets stuck on games, I genuinely welcome the story mode difficulty for most games these days. When I was younger, I had to beat every game on the hardest difficulty. Not anymore. That's a great point too. Like, if you just have a limited time amount for games, like even me, I feel like I'm against that clock a little bit, where I just don't have as much time for games as I do anymore, because I'm going to the office every day. So I would rather not have something super difficult. So that's actually a really good point, CowboyDangerD. But last question or comment in relation to this topic comes to us from Rio, who says, for me, it depends on the game. For Souls-like, I don't want there to be any difficulty settings. The set difficulty of that genre helps players relate to each other's playthroughs better and gives you more of a sense of accomplishment when you beat something that is kicking your butt. The opposite would be for a game like Doom or Wolfenstein, where the difficulty options, in my opinion, really help those games out. Those games are generally shorter, so replaying them isn't as big of an ask, and increasing the difficulty on a second playthrough can help you see how much you've improved over playing the game from the first time you played it. Question for the crew, though. Kind of going along the lines of difficulty, what is the hardest boss you have ever fought in any video game and beaten? That is the caveat here, and you have to have beaten said boss in order for it to qualify. So first of all, for me, to give y'all some time to think, 2 bosses come to mind. One is I actually, back in the day, I finished an entire playthrough of Ninja Gaiden Black on Master Ninja difficulty, which is like 2 steps above the hard difficulty. It was so brutally difficult. It's one of the hardest games I've ever played in my entire life. And that final boss, who I will not spoil because it's a different final boss than the base game, was so brutal. It took me like 2 weeks to beat him. It was ridiculous. It was so crazy, but I loved that. I thought it was so cool. And then the other one was the ultimate Alexander from Final Fantasy XIV, which is a big braid encounter. It took us like 3 weeks to beat that boss because it's so difficult. Because basically each fight, that. First of all, the way the ultimates work in Final Fantasy XIV is you've got the normal boss fight at the end of a raid series, and then a savage version of that. But then sometimes once per expansion, they'll do an ultimate version, and the ultimate fights, if you do everything perfectly, takes an hour and a half to get through, with like 8 different phases, a bunch of music changes and visual changes, and all kinds of crazy crap that you have to learn. But if you like mess up along the way, like if anyone in your 8-person party member messes up along the way, you're starting over from scratch. So it's a big of a slog, but they are so worth it. Like the feeling you get from beating one of those ultimate bosses is so awesome. So got to give a shout out to that. Also, I'll just give a shout out to BA Max thing in the chat, freaking Sephiroth in Kingdom Hearts.
Yes, Britt. Yes.
But Ron, I'll start with you, man.
Nothing comes close. It's an easy pick for me. Malenia, Elden Ring. Man, I know Souls players are going to sit there and think that Malenia was a cakewalk to them. Man, that was my first Souls game. Malenia was like nothing I had ever fought before in my lifetime. Thank goodness I was able to kind of come back to her after I went and finished the game. I ran into the area that she was at, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to see what she's like. After her putting my face in the dirt about 30 times, I figured, you know what? I need to take a break. I need to go ahead and just finish the game, and I will come back to her later. Once I beat everybody else, I came back, and oh, good Lord, I probably like another 50 times. And finally was able to beat her. But talk about the satisfaction from defeating that was just epic. There was no other feeling. Thank goodness everybody was up in the house at 1 o'clock in the morning. I had to go to work that day. I probably screamed and woke the whole neighborhood up. I was so excited about defeating her after she had destroyed me for hours. So, yeah, man, definitely her. No other boss even comes close to her.
Nice. What about you, Matt?
I think I have to go with Jules from Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth. I'm just kidding. Jules pull-up challenges and sit-up challenges. They're not fun.
That's a difficult boss fight in itself. Yeah.
Yeah, that one's a hard one. But I'm going to go with Vice from Final Fantasy VII Remake DLC. I watched so many videos. I watched my best friend's playthrough, and he's like, just do it like this, and then you'll beat him, and then you get I can't remember what the accessory is called, but it gives you unlimited limit breaks, which I needed for the hard mode. And I watched his video, I watched other people's videos, and I was like, I can't do it. Like, I see exactly what they're doing, but I can't replicate it. And I was so uncertain that I could, and this wasn't even on hard mode. This was just on normal. I just wasn't very good at it. So it took me hours and hours. I think I beat him like super clutch, like everybody's dead except for Aerith. And I almost died. I finally did it. And just like Ron, I screamed, probably shed a tear of like joy just because of like, I finally did it. And it just gave me so much more confidence going back for the hard mode with at least one limit break necklace. Because the hard mode's no joke in Remake 2. Like but I just felt I had some sense of confidence with that accessory. But with Vice, it's like I have no accessories. It's get good or you're not going to get this. So that's definitely the hardest one that I've faced and successfully beaten.
Nice. How about you, Fulia?
So the one that comes to mind is more recent for me, because I don't really play a lot of games that have like really hard bosses. The most recent one for me has been the Mantor Worm in Aiden Chronicle Rising.
Oh, I thought you was about to say Elden Ring. I was about to say, it's going to be on.
If only, Ron.
Can you imagine?
I wish.
No. Aiden Chronicle Rising. The Mantor Worm. It's the lava worm that you come across when you're up in the mountains. And it's like all of a sudden a volcano. And that one took me a few goes to get. Because it was really hard, and like every time you get hit with like by the worm itself, or any of the molten rocks, you're essentially you get inflicted by fire, and then your HP goes down very rapidly because of that. So that one actually took a few goes for me to actually beat that particular boss in the game, and it's not even towards the end of the game either. It's like somewhere in the middle somewhere. Yes.
Koala, would you like to tell the fans how colorful your stream was that day when that was happening? Because I was there for it. I wish I had recorded.
No, I refrain from disclosing that information.
This is a family show. It's a good thing.
Look, even the koala can get real frustrated.
Oh yeah. She was throwing some words I hadn't heard her say before, and I was like, oh.
Oof.
Oh.
Yeah, it was rough.
So one would say that Max should have been relaxed that night even.
Yeah.
Maybe.
She did not calm her farm that day.
She did. Farms
You
will not
wouldn't
be calm.
be calm either if you tried to play through that particular boss. You would have been the same.
I'm not sure I would have had any problems with it. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, la-di-da,
Ron. Far out.
I'm used to those kind of games. I'm sorry.
I'm not the boss battler, all right?
I know. You like the farms and you like the cats that walk through the street. I know.
Exactly.
There's nothing wrong with that. But right now, you gotta get that adrenaline rush.
I will say though, the icon fights in Final Fantasy 16 were also quite rough, especially towards the end, with when you're fighting Ultima, and yeah, they were oh my.
But they were so cool
so
though.
hard. Oh, they were cool. They were really cool, but it was hard.
And I was proud of you for beating that game. I was super proud of you. Super proud.
I was proud of myself.
Yeah.
I finished the Final Fantasy game.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, moving on, of course, let's let some of our friends into the car with us. It's time for the carpool. We got HVAC Sparky, who says, I believe the Nintendo Drive had an episode on this a while back. What are some of your favorite all-time box arts for PlayStation games, and why? So we're going to do this in an interesting way. Fulia and Ron, I have your photos. Whereas, Matt, do you have your photos locally of the ones you wanted to share with us today?
I have physicals.
Oh, even
Ready.
better.
I
Even
also
better.
have
Even better.
physicals.
Oh, well then Ron's the only one I guess I'm going to have to actually put up on the screen.
You might have to use mine just for one.
Okay. Well, I mean, there is only one in there, so.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so who would like to go first?
I'll let one of the physicals go first.
Oh, well then Matt, you're going first. I've
Alrighty. Here we go.
I'll even do this here. We're going to throw.
Oh, giving Matt the floor.
Yes.
Oh,
My all-time favorite cover art has to be Resident Evil 7, the Gold Edition. Even though it's not my favorite Resident Evil game, there's just something about the art style that I just love how it looks. And it doesn't even necessarily represent the entire game in itself. Like, I'm not even sure why they picked this image, but I think it just stands out beautifully. So I love it. It's always on display. Sadly, not all my steelbooks you can see the front, but this one, no matter what the rotation is, when I'm flipping out my steelbooks, this one's always in rotation. Just just beautiful artwork. Just something about it. It's unsettling, but still beautiful at the same time. But yeah, love this. Beautiful cover art. That's number 1.
Okay.
Do you want me to keep going?
on
I
I
was
can
gonna
keep
say,
going.
keep going.
I got
Roll
ready.
it. The
Keep
floor is
going.
Oh, right.
No, it's just because
Yeah.
I have to. It's
All
because
right.
I have to put everyone like up on the screen. It's just easier this way.
Oh, I love it. This is physical showtime. Let's go. This is
Yeah.
better than Steelbook Saturday and Shelfie Sundays. Okay.
I was gonna
So
say
my
you have
second
the
one.
floor.
All right. So my second one, all-time classic right here.
Oh.
Resident Evil 2, the OG. Like this, like the cover art worked because my cousins and I rented this game back in 1997, 1998, just based on the cover art. No internet, nobody talking about this game, just the cover art, and still love it to this day. Like it still captures. This one's unsettling for sure. The giant eye, love it. So this one's definitely my favorite. My third one is Sleeping Dogs.
Sleeping dogs.
Sleepy
Nice.
dogs.
Yeah,
Nice.
just be no, not Sleepy Dogs, Sleeping Dogs. Don't do that.
The disrespect.
We don't do that here.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
He must be correct.
And again, just yes, Sleeping Dogs. Just because like it's just beautiful. Like I assume it's hand drawn, whether it's on pencil or computer. Just instead of using something else from the game or like some concept art, just kind of really captures like just that cool badass nature of Sleeping Dogs.
and
I just
it's
love
a
that.
great game.
Great game. But just love the fact that, it's the way it's drawn and the way they use the colors, like very selectively, like in the background. Big fan of it. Ron, you knew this was coming.
I knew it was gonna come.
You knew this was
Yep.
coming. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
It's got to be Nier Automata, but it's what's this edition called? Game of the Yorha edition. And I'm pretty sure it's the same cover art for the Steelbook. I just love what it looks
It's
like
great
with
looking art. It really is.
yeah, 2B
I
holding
like that.
9S. Yeah. Like if you know the game, this is kind of I mean, I'm not going to go into spoilers, but like this represents a pretty cool theme, I would say, between 2B and 9S. So fantastic.
Yes. 9S
Fun
9S sucks and needs to be carried. This is what this is about.
Oh, come on.
I said it.
Okay, look, I know a lot of people poo-poo on 9S, okay? And I get why. I really understand why, but I find him the most relatable, all right? But I can see why people
What?
poo-poo on it because
No.
he's a bit
You're way
he's
cooler
a
than
bit
him,
of a
man.
crybaby.
You're way cooler than him.
Thank you. I know he's a crybaby, but I get it. Fun fact for the show. Okay, when we were talking about this question, Ron was like, "Please don't one full experience and do Nier Automata and Nier Replicant," and I laughed so hard because I was like, even I can't convince myself that 2 cover arts could be 1 cover art. I can do 2
I had to
games
make
as 1
sure.
experience.
I know how you get
Like-
down.
Yo, I'm not taping 2 cover arts together and say like this is 1 cover art, everybody. Even I was like, that's far out. That's too much.
Even though the
I
art
can't
for
pull that off.
Replicant is just as beautiful as the one for Automata, though.
It is, but they're separate. It's
They
2
are.
pieces of paper
I want you to remember the separate word.
for cover art, not for games. And I'll quickly go through my last 2, which would be I think I showed this before. It's the Resident Evil 2 Deluxe Edition with Claire, just a badass picture of Claire. And then I really love the cover art for Rebirth. It just goes super hard here.
Good choice.
With Sephiroth, Queen Tifa, and Aerith. Just love it. Just love it.
Nice.
That's it. I don't have any more. I promise.
Cool. Nice. All right, Fula, you are on the hot seat next.
Okay.
And when you get to the end, I will pull up your last one.
Okay, cool. So I completely forgot about my older PlayStation games because they're kind of out of sight, out of mind, instead of on a shelf. So I don't have those with me, unfortunately.
Anna K. Is this what we're about to do?
No. I'm gonna start off with some of a couple of the PS4 games. One of them being Concrete Genie.
Nice
I
choice.
kind of really like how sort of like you got the monsters, the little genies together with the main character. It's very, it's kind of like hand painted almost as well. Like it just looks really pretty. So I kind of like that, and the colors definitely stand out against like everything else that's a bit sort of like dull in the background. So I do really like that. And my other PS4 game that I've got is for Spiritfarer. It's just really nice where everything is just like this nice golden, orange, and yellow, and then all of a sudden you've got Stella in the middle where her green sort of pops. in the middle, and it's so cute and very, very wholesome as well, and just the way that she's also being put like in the middle, and like she's glowing essentially. She's in the spotlight essentially, and I really like that. So good on the artists at Thunder Lotus for that one. So moving into the PS5 games that I've got, Life is Strange: True Colors. I really like the art style of this. It's very simple. It's literally just the main character front and center with a really nice sort of like a smoky colored background. And I don't know what it is. It's almost like there's like a galaxy behind her, like behind Alex. And I love that. And yeah, it's also a very sort of a striking pose as well that she's got on the front cover. And it's nice and simple, but it's effective. And I really like that. And then my last physical, I will say, is Bug Snacks.
Of course.
Because it's very sort of kind of hand painted, hand drawn kind of a art style. I really love that. The characters are adorable on the front there. You've got all of the little Bug Snacks sort of all around in the background, in the foreground, and then
Murder Simulator, making it look like some kind of nice innocent game.
Misleading cover art.
Yo, y'all
sure
talking
is.
about Bug Snacks?
It sure is. And it has the PG at the bottom. Yeah, okay.
Yep. Very, very PG, mild themes and sexual innuendo.
Oh no! I don't know if we can deal with that here.
But yeah, it's just like, it's really cool. And then you've got all the grumpuses as well, sort of going around hunting down these Bug Snacks. It's just really cute. I really like it. It's very lush and green as well, so you can tell they're on an island. So I really love Bug Snacks. It's really good. It's a really good one.
And I'll pull up this one.
Let me just give a quick honorable mention
Sure.
to the Unicorn Overlord cover, because it's just very anime. It just looks like it's the cover art to an anime like show series, and you just got all of the characters right there. And I don't know, I kind of like that. But it's also like the color theming as well. It's very kind of like purpley blue with the tones of all the silver and the gray. So it's really cool. I kind of
Vanilla
like
does awesome artwork.
Yeah, I really like it. And then the last one, which I wish there was a box art for, is Astro's Playroom. I really love it. It's very simple and it's so cute. You got Astro like there standing, posing with the DualSense controller, and it's just adorable. I wish there was a physical edition of this. That would be really cool to see on my shelf.
Nice.
Yeah.
Maybe one day they'll give us a physical version of Astro's Playroom. Probably not, though.
It's just nice and simple, and it gets the people.
Look how chilly
understanding.
it is. Look how cool
Yeah.
it is. He's just hanging out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's adorable.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah.
Nice and simple. Well, that's good. All right, Ron, I'm going to pull up yours here now, and they are in order that they are displayed on Google Drive. So,
Okay.
even if you want, if it just makes it easier, I'll just pull them up.
Yeah, just pull them up. That's fine.
Cool. So here's the first one.
Shadow of the Colossus. Now, I am actually not a fan of this game. I tried it.
Oh,
It was not really for me. I didn't hate it. It's not cheeks. It just didn't enjoy the game. But that cover art for the PS4 version, outstanding. It's just great. It's just great. Gives you the whole scale of what you're up against. You got the whole landscape behind you. Everything about it is just, that's the cover art where you walk into a store, if you don't know anything about the game, you might end up buying that because that cover art is just greatness. So the game, but the cover art, outstanding.
I don't know if I've ever been this disappointed in you, Ron.
It's okay. It's all right. I know Shadow of the Colossus has its fans. Like I said, it's not cheeks. I just didn't enjoy it. It wasn't for me.
No, that's all good. That's all good. It's one of my all-time favorite games, but I totally get why people it might get some of these times. So, anyways, moving on.
Ripped apart. I mean, come on, look at that. It's just the whole dimension split in the middle. It's just, golly, man. That's just really just good artwork there. You know what you're getting into. That's the whole, like, the main focus of the game. And then you have two great characters right there on the screen. You know what you're getting into. Ratchet and Clank. It's going to be a good time. Awesome artwork. Nothing more to say than that.
Nice. Next.
Now, this is very
Ooh.
specific. It has to be the God of War Day 1 edition. Not the regular God of War cover art. The Day 1 edition is just badass as hell. You got Atreus. It actually looks like he's not a whiner in this. He actually looks like he's actually an ass kicker like his dad. We all who have played the game know better. But it gives the false representation that he is. You got the orc there. You got Kratos about to put that axe to him. Come on. That's just badassery. All in one photo. Love it.
Yeah, definitely
forgot
a
about
huge
this
step
edition.
up from the original for sure. Yeah,
Yeah, way better.
yeah. And then next,
Prey.
Oh,
And I'm not talking about the stinky one. I'm talking about the one that Arcane did.
whoa, the Xbox 360
I said
classic
it.
Prey.
I said it. The stinky one.
Well, you do go through button doors in that game, so that's a whole thing.
But the Arcane version of Prey, besides the fact that it's a great game, that artwork is just great. It has the station in the background, the moon. Then you have the alien life form that's kind of like in the background with it, and you're walking on the platform. That is just great. That is just great. It's one of those covers where you got to see them, and it'll make you want to play the game. And the game is great and it should be played. But yeah, that cover right there is just fantastic.
Nice. And last one, I think.
The GOAT, Ghost of Tsushima. I mean, you're in the field. He's staring at the mask. Come on, man. That right there is just straight up they're just giving you a taste of all that's going to be in that game. The artwork is right there on the cover. Nothing more to say. You can see it for yourself. He's in the fields. The fields themselves is beautiful. Even the intro scene with the fields is just stand out, amazing. So there you go.
I wonder what Seth thinks
Beautiful.
about this art.
Oh, yes, Koala?
What do you think of the director's cut version of their box art?
The reason why I chose the PS4 version is because the director's cut, I think it loses something without having the field there and the sky. It's just, you have the main artwork of the protagonist there. It still looks cool, but I think it loses something without that landscape, without the sky view, the fields. The PS4 version, I think, is just the better cover. Like I said, the PS5 director's cut's not bad, but it doesn't have anywhere near the amount of effect that the PS4 version has, in my opinion.
Nice. Well, there you go. This is some good picks, Ron. I like this. I like where we're going with some of these box arts. And we should talk about box arts more often because I like talking about box arts. Last for me,
Please.
I told y'all that I did not have a chance to prep for this. But while you were talking about yours, I went ahead and gathered the images for
All right.
the ones I want to talk about. So we're gonna start, and I'm doing this a little freelance because I'm using the Windows Photos to display these. So if they look weird, that's just how it is. You're just gonna have to deal with that. My first one might look familiar, Ron. It's Shadow of the Colossus.
I forgot how the
There it is.
PS2 version looked. That's actually not bad either.
I love the PS2 one. Like this, when I saw it on the shelf for the first time, I'm like, it kind of sold me on the game a little bit. Where I was like, I feel like I needed to play
Yeah,
that.
that's the first one I played.
Yeah, because there's something about like the almost like the sepia tone to it with the sun in the background with the giant Colossus blocking out the
God,
sun.
I forgot
with
about this.
the Wanderer there in the bottom right hand corner, like you barely see him down here. It's so cool. I love this.
Nice choice, man.
Yeah. Next one is another PS2 game. In fact, I'm going to move this out of the way here. It's Marvel vs. Capcom.
Oh,
on
yes.
PlayStation
Okay.
2.
Yes.
You got your Marvel characters.
pick.
You got Ryu and Zangief squaring off against Spider-Man and Hulk. This is so cool. I love this box art, and I love Marvel vs. Capcom as well. And I think of the Marvel vs. Capcom games, this is definitely the best one. But also,
Yeah, that was a great one.
Capcom did a lot of great box arts in the PS1, PS2 era for their games, and I want to highlight them with this one because I think this is probably like the best among them. Even though I think like some of the Mega Man X ones are really good, as well as some of the other Capcom games. But I specifically Marvel vs. Capcom 2. It's awesome. My next one is Shadowbringers Final Fantasy XIV.
That's nice.
Yeah, this of course
Wow.
is drawn by the original Final Fantasy artist, and it's basically a dark knight holding like a small glowing child in his arms, and it's basically the one thing that's light in the world, because the whole theme about Shadowbringers is you kind of becoming the warrior of darkness in a lot of ways. So this art perfectly exemplifies that, and bringing darkness to a world where light has become corrupt. So I love the visual representation of what
Nice.
the expansion is all about. And the last one I got here. This is an absolute classic. Probably the best one of all these.
Yes.
Of course.
How did I not see this
Let's
coming?
go.
Yes.
Pepsi Man. A picture of Pepsi Man, point at the camera, drink.
God.
That's all you need. That's all you need. Yeah.
Well, to all the PSD fans, it's not every day that you get rickrolled on the PlayStation Drive.
It's not a Rick roll. This is a good box art. This is good box art, Ron. Yeah.
I thought we were going to get something epic.
I even brought in some special honorable mentions from non-PlayStation releases, like Ninja Golf on the Atari 2600.
God, what is this?
It's a
Ninja
ninja who
Golf?
plays golf.
With a sword?
Yes. He's got a sword and a golf bag.
Okay.
With his
Yep.
nunchuck
And-
hanging
Curious.
out.
Notice that it is new. In the
Very
bottom
new.
right-hand corner, it says it's new. You've also got Crackdown on the Sega Genesis.
God.
Look at what's going on with this box art.
Wow.
You got
Look at
two
that.
dudes with machine guns. You got
It looks like a snow trooper in the bottom there.
you've got like a stormtrooper. You've got a giant
You
gorilla
got,
here.
so you got Planet of the Apes mixed with Star Wars, Contra, and some kind of goat demon. What the hell is this?
And then of course, just look at the lettering as well, with like the cracking in the Crackdown.
Oh,
My
damn.
God.
Yeah, and then of course the piece de resistance, Eliminator boat duel on the NES. It's a boat, but it's kind of like in space because you're.
I will admit, it's very colorful. I kind
Where's
of
this
like
clip
it.
art? The clip art of the flag mixed
what I
in
mean.
with the.
Well, the best part is,
I don't
in
know
case you
what
don't
this
know
is.
the history of this, Ron, is that this is a real photo that they basically just doodled over. You can tell because this area over here is not colored in. It's just the natural color of
Yeah.
the water that's there. But they basically like
gracious.
drew over the mountains and the sky, and
Whoever drove that wave needs to be fired.
like this woman's hair is just like colored, like just
Yeah.
yellow. Oh my god, it's so good.
This is horrendous.
Yeah. I mean, I've got so many more of these too. I've got like a whole folder on my desktop that's just all bad box
My
art.
God.
So
Oh, wow.
All right, so incoming episode at some point, we'll do box art. As
The
our
worst
topic.
box arts. Maybe we should make that happen.
well, I mean, worse is only subjective, Ron, because it's art.
Okay, worse in our opinions.
Yes.
I mean, the fact that you thought Pepsi Man was bad, I don't know if I can deal with it. But
It's Nightmare Fuel. All right.
Thank you, Matt.
Jeez. Yeah.
anyways,
Please don't.
moving on. We got CrocoKyle who says, "Who would want y'all to see? What would you want y'all to see revive first as a new title on PS5? Sly Cooper, Crash Bandicoot, Spyro, or another new franchise?" Oddly enough, Crash Bandicoot already has a PS5 game with Crash 4. Just gonna put that out there, CrocoKyle. Crash already came back on PS5, but we can select it if you want to. So what do y'all think about this one? To give y'all time to think. Of the three, I kind of want Sly to come back because he's the only one that hasn't come back with any recency. Because we got the Spyro remaster, we got the Crash remasters, we got Crash 4. Maybe a new Spyro game would be good, but I kind of want to see like a new Sly Cooper. I think that'd be pretty cool. But curious to know what you all think. Starting with Fulia, what do you think?
I've never played a Spyro game, so maybe a Spyro game on PS5 would be pretty cool. I've seen what they're like, and I think they're kind of like platformers. But yeah, I've never really engaged with the Spyro games before, so that'd be
The
really
Spyro trilogy on PS4.
Yep. It's also on Switch.
a new PS5
Oh,
game
yeah.
of Spyro.
We don't do that here. We don't do that here. You get on the PS4.
Yeah. Nice. Matt, what do you
Yeah.
think?
I'm gonna go with other franchise. Just give us a new game for Infamous. Said it before, gonna say it again. We need a new Infamous game. PS5. Come on.
110%.
Gecko. Oh, okay.
We should get a stamp. Get a stamp that on it. We need a new Infamous game.
Please.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe it'll be Zeke's journey this time around. Maybe Zeke gets the powers this time.
Sucker Punch is too busy.
They
don't have time for Infamous.
You know what, Ron?
Doesn't have to be by Sucker Punch. Could
They
be by
can
somebody
make
else.
an
I'm okay
Infamous
with it.
game not made by Sucker Punch. And it's
Who's going to do it? Blue Point is too busy with a new IP.
Find someone. That is not our job. It's Sony's job to find someone else to do that.
Yeah, I'm just take my money and give me the game. That's my job. All right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ron, how about you, man?
I'll take Sly Cooper, man. He deserves it. Spyro was never really my jam, so Sly Cooper all day. I enjoyed those games, and Sly should be brought back.
Okay. Yeah, I think Spyro was good. I think those games are fun, but
Yeah, they're not bad. I just didn't really enjoy them. The collectathon was too heavy for me. It wasn't as bad as Donkey Kong 64, but yeah, Spyro was just
yeah. Although going back to Crash recently, those games have a lot of collecting too.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. Next question comes to us from Kiku on the topic of mini games. How do you guys feel about them in your games? For me, I usually don't like to see them because they're not really that fun and they tend to be tedious more than anything. Which one do you hate the most? Are there any mini games that you enjoy the most? And Matt, you're shaking your head because obviously you and I just played Mini Games the Game, aka Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which to my knowledge has more mini games than some Mario Party games do.
Probably does. It probably does. And this is easy. The one that I hate the most from that I can recall is the flying chocobo race in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I don't know if you played that, Ryan, where you have to fly through rings.
Yep.
Through
I literally
X amount
played
of time.
It's like playing Superman 64.
I was just about to ask.
Exactly.
Good lord.
Yeah. It is it's as bad as that in the sense that the controls are jank. All right. Like, look, I'm okay with the mini games if the controls work. Controls don't work in that flying game, right? And for the platinum, you got to get number 1. And oh my gosh, like it was beyond infuriating. So I hated that one the most. The one I like the most, I got to give a shout out to the fishing in Ocarina of Time. Like that was one of my earliest memories of a optional mini game. Like I did it because I was following the guide. But even after I got the biggest fish, which I think gets you like a heart piece or something, I stayed there fishing. The world can wait. You can have it, Ganyan. I'm busy fishing here. And I stayed there for a really long time. I was like, this is so much fun. I know there's better fishing games out now, but just fond memories of that one. It was really good.
Well, I mean, there were better fishing games out back then. Sega Bassmaster on the Sega Dreamcast was out with your fishing controller with the reel and everything.
There was a reeling controller for that? That's so cool.
There was multiple iterations of the fishing controller for the Dreamcast.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, the Dreamcast also had a keyboard and mouse for it, Matt. I mean, that shouldn't be too surprising. But all right.
Fair enough.
What about you, Ron?
The mini games I hate is going to be a triple combo pack. Tetramaster. What was that damn other game? Triple Triad and Blitzball. All 3 of them. Hate them. Despise them. Just thinking about them. Yeah, no, all of those were bad mini games. As far as ones that I actually enjoyed playing, Gwent from Witcher 3, I enjoyed that. Anytime I had a chance to play Gwent, it happened. I was going out and getting the cards. If they were at a store, I bought them. If I ran into it where I had to, do anything specific to get one, it happened because I just loved playing Gwent. Surprisingly, Valhalla, Orlog, that game and that was actually really enjoyable. It was probably one of the more enjoyable things about Valhalla. And that was surprisingly a really great mini game. So, yeah, shout outs to that also.
Nice. Now, I have a question for you before I go to Fulia. Mm-hmm. If you eliminated those games from Final Fantasy X, would Final Fantasy X be a good game?
Personally, I thought that was a good game anyway. It's not a great game by any means, but
well, okay, then elevate it. Then it'd be a great game.
No, we're not going to do that. No. Even if you take out Blitzball, it stays right at good. Okay. Titus was too horrible of a protagonist to ever put that game at great, ever.
Okay. I hate that game. I actually prefer.
I know you do. I know you and Garrett are not fans.
I think Final Fantasy 13 is a far superior experience in every conceivable way to Final Fantasy 10.
Yeah, I can't agree with that. Now you're on a spaceship with that one. Mm-mm.
Anyways, Fulia, what about you? Do you like mini games in games? What do you think?
I mean, apart from Mario Party, I haven't really played any games that have mini games in them. And even if they do, they only have like 1 or 2 that I don't tend to come across very often. So I kind of end up skipping
since
them.
you play so many cozy and casual games.
Yeah, but they're not real. Like, there's not a lot of mini games implemented in them. It's like most of them are like very story driven or they're visual novels that I've played, and just mini games don't really come up. I know there's a mini game in Life is Strange: True Colors, where there's like an arcade machine in the apartment that she's living in, that Alex is living in. I think I played it once and then that was it. It was one of those optional things. But yeah, I don't know. I tend to like skip over the mini games because it's never really implemented as a you have to play this game like right now kind of a situation in the stories. So
unless you're going for a platinum, and then sometimes you have no choice but to interact.
If it's part of a platinum, then I don't know. I think Night in the Woods also had a mini game in there.
Oh, it sure did.
Playing like on your PC. Yeah.
There's one where you have to like, I think it's like stealing pizza, and then there's what says there? There's like a knife game where like you have to poke the person's
that
fingers.
one. I played that one.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So friends do.
I do come across some mini games in the video games, but not a lot, to be honest. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. As for me, I don't really like mini games in normal games too, for actually the reasons y'all talked about as well. Like I just would rather just go with the regular mechanics. Like if there's a optional card game in a video game, I usually don't even bother interacting with it unless I'm forced to in some way. Like in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth when I was forced to with Queen's Blood. So, Fulia has her hand up.
You literally reminded me of a game that has a mini game in it, and that's Spy Fox in Dry Cereal. And you're essentially playing Go Fish for Trinkets. And it's so that I will play for hours. That's so much fun. You're playing against this mafia boss pig who loves trinkets. You're not betting with money, you're betting with trinkets. So you have to get a jar of trinkets so that you can then play against them. And that I will play all day.
Nice.
I'm a bit confused of why a pig would want trinkets, but it's okay. Spy Foxes and Dry Cereal, it's there we go.
That's a game.
I don't know why I'm trying to find logic in this.
Look,
Never mind.
Spy Fox had to go to the island of Acidophilus, and that's where that's where you come across the pig.
Oh boy.
Anyways, the real answer is Ron already stole my answer. Was Blitzball. That is 100% the worst mini game I've ever played in my entire life, and I never need to play it again.
It's horrible. It is.
It is real bad. All right. Before I move on to this next question, I feel that this banner is appropriate for this next question. Quaggy is here. The question for us.
Yes.
Give us difficulty customization options for our games. The best Xenoblade game, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, you can tweak enemy health, damage, etc. to make it easier or harder for your discretion. I wish more games provided this level of tweaking to the game and their content. My question is, though, what is your most hyped PS5 game, and why is it Grand Theft Auto 6? So, total curveball from the Xenoblade Chronicles stuff. But I'm going to continue to leave this banner up in Quaggy's honor.
Well, I have a quick question before we jump into that question.
Of course.
Are you able to tweak the story and make it good in Xenoblade 2?
No, of course not.
Xenoblade 2 has the best story. There's nothing to tweak. Stop that.
Are you sure?
Stop the
I thought it would be a slider for that,
100%.
so it could finally be an interesting game, besides having waifus in it. No?
No. I mean, there's waifus in there. That's true. But the story's the
That's
best
the only
one.
reason why
Stop
you
the
want to
slander.
play. Just saying.
It's a reason, not the reason.
Xenobabes.
Answer the question.
What was the question again?
Get to the
What's
plot,
your most hyped
please.
game for PS5?
The
All right,
question
sorry.
is, what
Most
is your,
hyped game?
what is your most hyped PS5 game, and why is it Grand Theft Auto 6?
Okay, I am hyped for GTA 6. It's not my most hyped game. I think as of now, it might be the rumored Resident Evil 1 remake game. And the only reason why I say that's my most hype is because, and I know this is sad to say, I think there's a greater chance that that's real versus the newest game from Naughty Dog coming out on PS5. I know it's sad to say. I'm not very confident Naughty Dog will have a new game on PS5. Might come out on PS6. So for PS5, I think there's a better chance of... Capcom didn't even announce this game, for God's sakes, but I think there's a better chance of it coming. And if they do, oh man, so hyped.
See, I don't know Matt, because I feel like their next game will be cross-gen with PS5 and PS6.
I hope so. But
So it'll still technically be on PS5.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay
But
with
who
it.
even knows when that comes out?
see.
It's probably like 2027 or 2028 at this point. But
100%.
what about you, Ron? What's your most hyped PS5 game?
It's definitely not Grand Theft Auto 6. After the way 5 went, I'm kind of cautious with 6. I didn't find story in 5 to be all that great, so we'll see how it goes. I don't even know what's coming out next year, man. So that's a to be determined. A fat TBD on that
Wow,
one.
this is most hyped right now. It doesn't have to mean
Come on, there's got to be
It's still nothing.
There's got to be like
Okay,
there's got to be a
fine.
new Falcon game
A
coming out.
Falcon
right?
game. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
The new
Yeah.
newest Trails game. Most
Yep,
excited.
there you go.
There it is.
Yep. BMX is still waiting for Splinter Cell. You're gonna
Brittany,
be
Brittany,
waiting
stop
for
this.
a while.
Splinter Cell's never coming out. Stop this.
They announced it though. They released
Yeah.
a dev diary last
10
year.
years ago. Yeah.
Yep. Fulia, do you have a most hyped PS5 game?
I
Is
do.
it Grand Theft
actually.
Auto 6?
It's not because I don't like GTA.
How dare you?
I've tried. I don't like them.
okay.
For me, they're actually indie games that I'm really excited for, and they're coming.
Oh,
to
the
PS.
shock and surprise.
I know, right? Shock. One of them is Cat Quest 3. And I don't know, for some reason, after watching Seth play it on his All In channel, I found it very amusing and very cute. And just the art style of it as well looks really cool. So I'm like, you know what? I'm kind of intrigued now. I really want to check it out. I've never played any of the Cat Quest games before. So now I kind of want to play this one.
Now, Fulia, I have to
Yes.
correct you real quick. Don't you mean Cat Quest 3 Pirates of the Caribbean?
Caribbean. Yes, that one.
That's the full
Exactly
title.
that one.
Whenever you refer to Cat Quest 3,
Lord,
it's
that
Cat
is
Quest 3
woeful.
Pirates of the
That is
Caribbean.
woeful.
Caribbean. I couldn't remember the subtitle. That's why I just
I'm
said
glad you
Quest
couldn't.
Quest.
I'm glad you couldn't. It's bad enough you're talking about Cat Quest 3.
What?
I said it.
What do you mean?
Oh, my Lord.
It looks fun. That's kind of the reason why I want to play it. So
Oh, yes.
yeah. So that's coming to PS5. And the other one that I will mention is a game called Never by Devolver Digital. And this game has been in the making for quite some time. They announced it I think last year or the year before. It's an adventure platformer puzzle game. It looks gorgeous. Just like art style wise, it looks beautiful. It definitely looks like it's going to be a tearjerker. So I'm really looking forward to coming to playing this. They're also the people who made Gree. And I loved Gree, and the art style in that was also absolutely amazing. So I'm really looking forward to Never. But we just don't have a release date, and I'm hoping that maybe during Summer Game Fest we'll get some sort of update, because I need one. It's been a while.
Someone
been a
help
while.
Fulia out here.
Why not Plucky Squire? You're not excited about that?
Oh, that's also on my wish list, but I think I'm more hyped for Never than I am anything else.
Even though we
to be
haven't seen it
honest.
yet. You still
No,
all
they've
in.
got there's a trailer out for it, but it's more of a cinematic trailer.
I'm about
than
to say
than
that trailer
gameplay
wasn't a real trailer, though.
No, that was a cinematic trailer. I want a gameplay trailer. I want a little bit of an update on maybe on a release date potentially.
Yeah,
because
you
it's
get the
still
same day
saying
that
coming
Silk Song
soon.
gets announced properly.
You know, I keep forgetting that Plucky Squire is even a game that's coming out.
Everybody seems to forget about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Yeah.
Devolver Digital has its own little thing coming.
They
so
do. They do.
It'll show it there.
It's true.
I hope.
Yeah, it's
true.
Oh, I hope so.
It's probably going to be as crazy as usual. Now, for me, I don't know if you've heard of this game before. Correct me if I'm wrong, y'all. But
Oh,
have
boy.
you heard of Final Fantasy XIV Dawn Trail? It's a little game coming to PS5 very soon. So soon that I had to, of course, show off.
I'm
spinning shot
I'm
with
sorry.
this trailer.
Ryan. But you hate pirates.
This is true. This game's not about pirates.
Nice call out there.
There's no pirates in this game, though. That's the thing.
But it looks like it should
Well,
be.
because you're sailing to the new world. That's the whole thing.
Look like Black
Exploring
Flag to
Oh.
me. Look like Black Flag.
I was gonna say for a second I thought when he lifted his hood it very looked much
I was like
like
Yoshi P doing an Assassin's Creed game. Let's do it.
So, yes, obviously that's my most anticipated PlayStation 5 game, but to go outside the box a little bit.
Oh God. Oh God.
I mean, Ron's saying, "Oh God," he's bracing for it because he knows the real answer is Death Stranding 2. I'm actually really excited for Death Stranding 2.
Oh, yes.
I kind of want to play Death Stranding 2. I kind of want that game
I'm
to be out
excited
this
for that
year,
one.
but it's out for next year. But also, Silent Hill 2 is definitely up there. I love the original, so I'm very excited for that. And then, but I mean, realistically though, all these games are overshadowed by my most anticipated game of all, which is Metroid Prime 4. Because that game's coming out and it's a real game.
Yeah, February 31st. That's the announcement. You heard it here first.
It'll come out before Silk Song, Ron. I guarantee
it might.
I
can see that.
It sure might.
Yeah.
But anyways, last set of questions of the week comes to us from Black Wyver, who says, Hello. Hope you all are doing well. I've got a few questions for y'all this week. Number 1, name one video game playable on PlayStation consoles that you'd love to play for the first time again. So is there one of those games that you'd want to replay again? For me, it's Mega Man 3 because it's in the Mega Man Classics collection, so it's technically playable on PlayStation. I would want to play Mega Man 3 again because I love that game, and I'd love to experience all over again. What about y'all, Ron?
Mass Effect. I mean,
oh, dude, that's a good one.
Come on, yeah. Sci-fi, RPG, both of my favorite things. You blend it in with old BioWare storytelling, Saren. Yeah, I would love to all over again from scratch. Yes.
One of these games, I'm very excited for Garrett to finally play that game for the first time.
Garrett hasn't played that?
Yeah, Garrett hasn't played any of the Mass Effect games. He hasn't even touched them.
Oh, wow.
Man. Yeah, he's got to make that happen.
Oh, I am aware. This is and as soon as I found that out 2 weeks ago on our backlog episode, I'm like, no, we're making this a thing.
Oh man.
Yeah. Matt,
That hurts.
I'm gonna go with The Last of Us Part 1, just because when I first played it, I was in my early 20s, wasn't married, didn't have kids, and the first time I played it, I was like, I liked it, but I wouldn't say it meant to me as much as it does now. Now I'm playing it after having kids, destroys me. So I'd like to replay it again, as if I never played it, but also kind of shift time where it's like where I am a dad. And I'm kind of curious to see that first experience if it would hit me differently. I assume it would have.
It would have.
But that's one I want to recapture somehow in a different way.
Well, and the best part about that, Matt, would be that you'd be able to get a little bit of a 2-for-1 because you'd also get The Last of Us Part 2 as part of that deal. Because it's one
full experience,
right?
They made a sequel to that game?
Thank you.
What?
Well, it's one experience. So depends how you want to see it. One experience.
Part one is the
part
only
two.
one that exists. I don't understand. How can you have a wonderful experience with one game?
I can get 2 cover arts and take them together for you.
For what? The
can do
original
that.
Last of Us and then Part 1?
No.
They're the same game.
Part 2, Ron.
Matt, you're drunk. Go home, Matt.
He is home.
Yeah. What about you, Fulia? What's yours?
For me, I'm gonna say I would love to replay Astro's Playroom for the first time because that was just so much fun, and learning about the DualSense controller was also really cool. So I think that definitely would be something that I would love to replay, and I'm very envious of people who are only just getting their PlayStation 5s now, so they actually get to experience that for the first time, and I'm like, oh, I kind of wish I had that feeling as well again because it was so good.
Thought you were going to pick God of War.
No. Another one that I will mention is Portal 2. That was also another
You're cheating.
game.
You're cheating. We were only supposed
What?
to name just one. You're doing the honorable mentions thing again. You do it all the time.
Hold on. There's an exception to the rule, Ron. If it's one full experience, then you can.
One
Those
full
are
experience.
not one full
No,
experience.
these are not one full experience. I'm sorry. Portal 2, I definitely want to play again because I think I played that for the first time and I was very lost. So I feel like I'd probably still have the same lost feeling, but granted, nowadays because I've played a lot more puzzle games, I'd probably get through a little bit easier and I'd figure it out a little bit quicker than when I first played it. So
Okay. Nice.
and then the last one I'm just going to
Oh, hell no.
Final Fantasy 16.
Yes.
Final
Yes.
Fantasy 16 is definitely one that I really want to play again for the first time because that's just the story is just amazing. I loved it so much.
You were
Give us
very
your honorable
close to
mentions
me.
now too. Come on. Honorable mentions.
Fulia,
No?
you were this close to me anyways, Ingu.
I'm done.
This
I'm
close.
done.
This close. One full experience, by the way. Number 2, name a video game playable on PlayStation that is your comfort game, i.e. that you've played several times and possibly will still play several more times. Ron, of course, Black Wyver asks a clarification question. Ron, will the wheel let you do this? Will the wheel let you play a comfort game a bunch of times outside of the wheel?
My only comfort games are like NBA 2K and Madden anyway. I don't really play cozy games like that. So, and even if I do, I beat them and then I'm done with them. I don't go back to them. So, if anything, my comfort game is NBA 2K and Madden. I don't have to really super concentrate to
It
play
doesn't have to be
those.
cozy games per se. But
Yeah,
like a game,
but
like
even
a
for
comfort game. Yeah.
Yeah, that's NBA 2K or Madden.
Yeah. For me, this is again is playable on PlayStation, but it is not a PlayStation title. It's Shining Force 2 on the Sega Genesis, available in the Sega Genesis Classics collection on your PlayStation 5 home entertainment console. It's very much a strategy role playing game, very similar to Fire Emblem. I've beaten that game like 30 times at this point, and I will continue to just play it like once every year or two, and just have a blast with it. So that is one for me. Of course, Final Fantasy 14 is another one because I just play it all the time. But Matt, what about you?
My most comforting game has to be OG Resident Evil 4. I know it's not the better version. The remake is better, but it's very comforting replaying that over and over again just because I'm so proficient at it. So it makes me feel good, like I'm good at the game. And just the ham and cheese dialogue. It makes me laugh no matter what. Oh, question.
He has a question.
Question.
How is a horror game a comfort game?
Resident Evil 4 is so ham and cheese. Like the dialogue, it's slapstick humor. Like it is really, really funny.
Yeah.
Like, and you're suplexing and kicking like old grannies and aunties and uncles, and Leon's struggling with it. Like you can't help but laugh at it. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Trust
Again,
me.
this
You should
game,
play it.
this question is not necessarily asking like a cozy game or a good feeling in your chest kind of game. It's more like the game that like is like almost like mac and cheese for you that you can just play over and over.
Matt said he feels like the Elden Lord when he plays this game.
Because actually, Matt, I actually have the same feeling with Resident Evil 2 remake, where like I feel like I could just go back and play it anytime and just have a good time.
Really? No, I still get spooky spooks when I replay that.
Oh.
So it's not like super comforting.
Yeah. But what about you, Fulia?
Power Wash Simulator. It's good. It's comfortable. I can chill and listen to a podcast or some music while I, or maybe have a YouTube video going in the background while I'm playing it. And I don't even have to have the sound on in that game. I could just have the sound muted in the game and just do the cleaning. And I can sit there for hours on end just cleaning houses and buildings and vehicles and whatever.
Or the car from Final Fantasy VII, because there's that Final Fantasy VII DLC.
That's there. Or Midgard as well.
Yeah. Go clean Midgar. Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Last question, final question of the night as well. Lastly, with Naughty Dog's new game, going back to what Matt was talking about a little bit earlier, that is based on a new IP. If the rumors are true, it's either going to be sci-fi or medieval fantasy. What would your preferred genre be for each of you, and why? So
I probably don't know anything about this, so I am out.
You've never played any sci-fi or
You ever play sci-fi or medieval games?
I was going to say...
or even like TV
Fulia.
shows?
Yeah, even TV shows. Or
Let me throw it
movies.
out there like this. Fulia, if Naughty Dog was to come to you with a brand new game, not based off anything they've done before, just a brand new game, would you prefer it to be sci-fi or medieval fantasy?
I probably prefer it being medieval fantasy, to be honest.
See? There's your answer.
Yeah.
That's your answer. That's your answer. That's what the question was asking. So you do.
Okay, I read it weirdly. I don't know. I understood it differently.
Space travel koala.
It's all good. It's all good. Well, Matt, since you brought up Naughty Dog 6 game earlier, I want to ask you, man, what do you think? What would you want them to do?
I'm sci-fi all the way. I just like to go pew pew pew. That's why. So give me the sci-fi stuff, please.
Okay. Ron?
I'm gonna actually sit here and cheat and say both of them. I mean, they had Uncharted. No, I don't want to hear any shit about it. I don't want to hear it. Koala had a whole bunch of honorable mentions. I don't want to hear this.
I'm proud of you.
Why not
Do
both?
it.
They had. Hey, I'm just saying, Last of Us and Uncharted were both their main IPs. Why can't they have two new IPs to bring in their new generation? So go with both. Medieval fantasy is great.
Yes.
Sci-fi is great.
I only reacted with disdain because I was thinking that you were trying to combine a sci-fi and a medieval fantasy
Oh,
game
of course
into one
not.
game.
Of course not. I'm not Matt.
could do
I'm not
that
the
too.
wonderful experience.
I mean, you
no,
can technically
no,
You can
Matt.
do that.
Well,
No,
I think
Matt.
that's what we're going to see with the next Doom game, with it being kind of medieval fantasy and stuff.
I wouldn't play that anyway.
I'm so excited if that's actually real. As for me, I want them to do sci-fi, but I kind of want them to do sci-fi horror because I think that would be really cool. And
Oh
I think
my
they would
God.
do such a good job of that.
Yes.
Matt, don't get excited. They've already done a semi-horror game with their fungus guys.
But now
Don't
they
do
could
this.
do one in space.
It's too late.
The
Yes.
fungi
No.
can go to space, Ron.
No, that's okay. Dead
It
Space
can
has
be
already
like
been done.
Jason Voorhees and go to space. Okay? It'll be fine.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
It'll be the Jason X equivalent of the Naughty
At the
Dog
end of
universe.
it, it's not even going to be worth it if they have The Last of Us 2 writers behind it. So it's fine.
Yeah.
Stop it. Stop it.
See? BMAC agrees. Naughty Dog sci-fi would be great. Probably. But anyways, I think that's going to do it for tonight's episode of the PlayStation Drive. But before we go, we got to thank all of our patrons over at patreon.com/carpoolgaming. And oh my God, my mouse is going in infinite scroll and I can't actually stop it. I fixed it, y'all. All right. We're going to start with our ultimate producers, Jonathan Brown, the man behind the music on this podcast, as well as the Xbox Drive. You can find all of his music over at Purple Monkey Entertainment in the link tree, linktr.ee/PME/JIB. And also Cwagmire, who humbly reminds you that the best babes are in fact Xenobabes. Again, links to all of our ultimate producers can always be found in the comments section of our videos. Our platinum producers, Robby Bobby Miller, Tim Paullin, and Smokin Joe, and our gold members, Adam K, Anna, Awesome Dave 1337, BobLoblaw, Brad Moore, Brian Reese, Cecily Carrozza, CowboyDangerD, CrocoKyle, Dan and Luma, Dannohh, Emily O'Kelly, Hoppel, Jan32, Patrice Mallette, Peje P, Samuel Nessling, Shane Erickson, Tech Mike, Tim, Aulph, and Toxtra. Huge thank you once again to all of our friends over at patreon.com/carpoolgaming. And now, Ron, plugs go.
Savoy Prime on PlayStation, Xbox, Steam, backlogged, and Savoy_Prime on Twitter.
Nice. And Matt, where can people find you?
You can find me as Nagachaka in the Carpool Discord and on Twitter and on TikTok. I got some silly videos, so you can follow me there as well.
Nice. And Fulia, where can people find you?
You can find me at Foolish Fuji on X and Instagram and on YouTube as well and Twitch. And you can also find me on the Discord as well, Foolish Fuji, and PSN if you feel so inclined to add me. Why not? Otherwise, all the links to everything that I've got is foolishfuji.card.co. Card. 2 R's.
.co. As for me, you can find me on the old Twitter, aka X, at Ryan Turfin. You also find us on X at Carpool Gaming, right here, youtube.com/carpoolgaming, and of course, podcast services around the globe. So, for Ron, Matt, and Fulia, I'm Ryan. This has been the PlayStation Drive, episode 151. That's a palindrome, folks. We're only 49 episodes away before episode 200. Yes, the countdown's begun, folks, and we're out. Good night, everybody.
Adios,
ya.
friends.
Good.
Thanks for
Goodbye.
checking out this week's episode of the PlayStation Drive. Now, before you drive off, please make sure to like and subscribe on YouTube and follow us at Carpool Gaming on socials. Don't forget to check out our awesome merch on carpoolgaming.com, and you can also support the show on Patreon at patreon.com/carpoolgaming, where you'll unlock all kinds of exclusive content. Links to everything are in the description.